Rahubat. Rahubat Yassar. Welcome to my live. It's been a while. Let me fix my stand one moment. Rahubat. It's been a while. I want to start with the all prayer. As you can see, I'm in my other room and I have a lot to cover. I want to start with the all prayer. Bara, bara, bara. Nabab Nazdar Mukhtar. Nu'ut Mukdad Baded Patah. Na'ut Muklas Baded Yanun. Anuki Jah with Pa Ashukin Pa Pa'ut. Wu Kalal Ashuk Kawun Jawafneye. Anuki Kasam Em Pa Pa'ut. Wu Pa Pa'ut Kawun Kasam Em Neye. Anuki Wahu Ame Pa Pa'ut. Wu Pa Pa'ut Kawun Wahu Ame Neye. Nukuk Kadur Naja. Ame Kasam Em Pa Pa'ut. Wu Kabub Ame Mushkas Nukuk Kadur Kawan Kalil Pafef, Nukuk Ara Jawif Papaut, Ameh Wase, Ameh Arani, Kawun Leye, Bakoi Jawif Papaut, Anuki Yabed Bi Ye Nefasi, Papaut Kawun Anuki, Papaut Kadur Nakuk Kadur, Papaut Amol Nakuk Amol. Let me just leave it here. Okay, Rahubat, Musyaru, and welcome to my live. Yes, it's been a while. I like to say Rahubat to everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, Kafre, repent. Wow. Yes, you all gonna hear everything. First of all, I want to say this. I do not lie, and I have not a reason to make anything up about anyone. Okay? You all need to understand this. This is serious. You want to know why the master teacher's in prison? You want to know why we have so much tabloid confusion? It's because of these witches in the tribe. Yes, they are witches. Witches. All of them are witches. Okay? We're going to get into that. I'm going to confirm everything that I'll tell you is right here in the books, in our doctrine. Panabab Yanun has laid it out that the spell was cast 6,000 years ago by witches. Okay, let me read this part. I'm reading from Pa'im, Pasamech Im Yanun. Hold on, let me close this window. 1 minute. Excuse me. Let me close this window because I don't want neighbors listening. I forgot I left this window open. 1 minute, please bear a minute with me. All right. And then let me go close the other window. Then we could get busy. We got a lot to cover. It's Friday. Please like and subscribe to the channel. This will be my last and final update. I'm not going to go live, keep going live all the time. I think I've shared so much information with you all. I've shared a lot of information with you all, and you all should be grateful that someone was bold enough to expose all the disrespect that's been going on for years, right? Someone had to do it, and they picked me. Okay? Okay. Let me read. Start with Pa M. Samek M. Yanun. Thank you so much to Tawakum. I don't have time to read the, okay? So let's start with Psalms, the Psalms of Yanenan. I'm on page 59, Psalms 33. Let us Nawapians of Wu Nawap rejoice. I request protection with my own Salafu ancestors from Pa Mukma'u, Pleiadians, overlords of the seed of Adamites, the Shayath U Sethites, Anash U Enosites, and Gabar U Gaborites, the owners of the Adamu Adamites, and from the Jawedness, wickedness, and evils and imagination of the very Fakar thoughts of their Abab hearts continually, as Adamites, and from their whispering slanderers, gossips, lies, and deceptions that they propagate as religion, as Adam or Adamites. They who preach and Lamud teach their false stories of their past in print and distribute by mistranslations called the Bible and the Quran as Adamites. They who by their unholy spirits, specters, tayafu, ghosts, whisper into minds and ababat hearts of non-Adamites who Saduk trust, I could believe, have Zakuk faith in them and their demonic Kameu aliens they call God, gods, Lord, God in their own dialects. I request protection with Palmandaru, ones of the overseers, from this evil race of hybrid humanoids of six ether and their shape-shifting Muzyadu Mutatalu extraterrestrials who they worship and offer bashar, human flesh, and demand blood to as sacrifices as bara, food offerings. Rejoice in our ancestors. Now I would like to read this, and then we're going to get into this, okay? Baul Kawan. This is from Pa Samek M. Yanun, the Psalms of Yanun. Psalms 34. Let us, Nawapians of Wunawap, rejoice. I have seen the ones of us who turn back. For that are they who betrayed us all for a promise, for a false promise of wealth, and was encouraged by the Adamu Adamites to betray Panabab Yanum and us all on Tamaray. So woe to the betrayers, Kabaz, Kazab Uru liars, the Washay Uru slanderers. Do you not see for those Tamulat actions their lives are lying, cursed? Death and suffering follow them wherever, and their lives are in Babel, chaos. Heedless is their future, living a waste of Wakut, time as the wrath is upon them. That is those in exchange for all they were given, betrayed Wunawap and Munwap Wunawapians for the asking by the lion cursed seed of Adamites. Their wealth will not avail them, nor will they gain peace of a cow mind and Haya life of ruin. Rejoice over victory. Psalms 35. Let us of Nawapians of Wunawap rejoice. Consider how the betrayers live their lives and how they are being dealt with and by and for their lies and plots against Tamaray. Has not life made their plots and plan with the Adamites against us, Pataites backfire in their face? Yes. What have they gained from their actions except embarrassment, shame, and humiliation? Are they living the lives they claim were abusive? Are they holy, pure, good, or are they the same as all others, of fornicators, profane abominations, adulterers, whoremongers, pornographers, pedophiles, perverts, boyfriends, girlfriends, janus, sex out of wedlock, yet they pretended to be virgins, all this for the payment the Adamites, Adamu, never gave. What have they gained for helping the Adamu Salal Adamite race attack Tamaray, attacking the Wapians, Muldadatu mothers, Kuradu children, and Muldadu fathers, as they pretended they were abused, and knowing in their Abab at hearts and Akal at minds, they were the ones who helped them plot and plan, and were the ones who molested them, and they, Rahuba, welcomed the abuses. Yet, will they confess to this? No. So their lives will be torment, both mentally and physically, as they pretend all is well in the public eye. They are Jawed, wicked and deceitful, who have opened their at mouths against us Nawapians of Wunawap. They have spoken against Panabab Yanun with lying Lassen at tongues. Mededat words of hatred. They surrounded us. They lied and attacked without cause in return for Yanun's love and support. They accused him and repaid him evil for good and Bagaz hatred for Ashuk love, divine love. Now is appointed evil specters to oppose them and an accuser in their lives. All they try will fail. They will be found guilty, condemned. Their Zamut at days few. Death follows them all. Around their Qur'adu children will be wandering beggars, and they will run from sexual relationship to sexual relationship, even to the arms of the Adamite race of Caucasoids. The creditors will seize all they have. Strangers plunder their hayat at lives. No one extends them kindness or take pity on them. Their descendants are cut off. Renan at names blotted out from the next generation. The iniquities of their own kazak or lie is upon them. Their lustful sins always remain before them. This is Pahat, heaven's payment to Yanun's accusers, to those who spoke evil of him. His accusers will be clothed with disgrace and wrapped in kajul, shame, as a cloak. They are condemned, what they did to us and what they did to Panabab Yanun. Rejoice, they're condemned for their lies as liars. I wanted to read that because that's what's going to happen to them that did this to the master. I mean, it's horrible. I know, I don't, let me say this, family. I want to say this before I begin. I have a lot of studying that I did and a lot of things that I realized throughout these years of working for the master teacher. Um, I'm sorry, I can't read the this. Yeah, May 8th is the day that they took the master teacher, that he got arrested. It was also the same day that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was arrested as well and put in prison for 4 years. So May 8th, I guess, is some type of spiritual day. I guess, that's the day that Madame Blavatsky, she was a witch who worked with Hitler. He had two witches that worked with him. One was Madame Blavatsky, and I forgot the name of the other witch. Let me take this off so I won't read the comments. So now, today is my last day coming live. I won't be going coming live again. I have a life to live, and I'm not going to spend my time talking over and over again about these people. I mentioned to you all about Shalimar. I told y'all that she was stealing money. You all still supported her, and you still didn't even thank me for waking you up and telling you, listen, I'm not jealous of any of these women. Okay, I'm not jealous of their lives. I don't want their lives. I don't want anything that they had because to me, they had the opportunity to show the father of their children. our master teacher, and those of you who are around him on the land, you had opportunity to show him that you care in your actions. And if you didn't get involved with the legal and you are afraid to get involved with the legal, then the best thing that you can do is represent Wu Sabat and live our life righteously as we are taught. This information that we have, no one on the planet has it. Okay? All these fake people coming up with the crowns on, teaching, they're all plagiarizing the doctrine for attention to attract women and to get attention because now we have social media where anybody can be a star now. You can be a star now on social media just by catering to people's needs or, I don't know who needs to hear this and all this other stuff that you see these people going around saying. Most of them, most of these people that you see on the internet, a lot of them got mental issues. I don't need you to tell me nothing about my life. Show me what you're doing first. Show me that it's working for you and what you did to get your money without trying to get money from me. If you want to help me, and then I'll do it. You understand? Stop telling me I know what to do. I don't know who needs to hear this. This is for somebody. I'm getting a download and I need to tell y'all. I don't want to hear none of that. I got my own life to live. And before the internet, we have the doctrine. We have Pataruk. We have master secrets. We have actual facts. The master is incarcerated now. He will be released. I know it seems forever. You understand? But he'll be home. Y'all just got to know this. These beings, extraterrestrials, they came here for their children. They're not here for everybody. They're only here for their seed and those that will work righteously, that will work hard in Wusabat to bring about a change in the world. Those people will be saved and inherit the planet, and those children that make it will be taken up because these beings that came here for their seed, they handpicked them. They said we got to get our seed, and they held back the four winds in 1970. Okay, so now, for those of you who don't know, those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Tabi Jet, spelled Tabitjet. I'm a follower and student of Dr. Melakazi York. I've known him since 1970. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I lived in a community called the Ansarullah community on 719 Bushwick Avenue. That was the bookstore and the masjid when we all wore all white and we wore the veil. And there's plenty of people that lived in the community that knows me and I know them. And unfortunately, on May 8th, 24 years ago, was it 24 years? 24 years. May 8th, 24 years ago, they kidnapped Dr. Melakazi York. They locked him up. They put him in prison. And a woman that he was involved with, that he had two children with, got with his son, and the girl, her name is Abigail. This is her right here. Let me show you who Abigail is. 1 minute. This is Abigail right here. This girl right here, she this girl right here, this is Abigail. She got with, she got with she used to live in the community as well. She was a part of our community setting. Just like how the Hebrew Israelites have their setup, Nation of Islam have their setup, Dr. Melakazi York had his setup, his community setup. It was beautiful. I was there, okay? Many years ago, almost 40 years ago, all right? I'm 59 now. I'll be 60 this year. So what happened was Abigail, I guess she was disgruntled. She was upset. You know how relationships get. And she left with her two children. And she got with Dr. York's son, who's known in the music industry, Jacob York. And Jacob York got with Abigail because he wanted to kill his father. He really wanted to hurt his father. Some of you may not understand family feuds, but Marvin Gaye's father took his own son out, you know? So don't sit up here and say because this is Dr. York that this isn't possible. And oh no, why would this woman do that? This man is a child molester. It was all a setup. When you have a man that's writing books, that is power and the knowledge. Knowledge is power. And it attracts a lot of people. It was to the point where on his land, his holy land, it was in the New York Times. There was over 30,000 people on his holy land. All right, 30,000 people coming from all over the world to see this man who called crafts out the sky. All right. I don't care what nobody says. I seen it with my own eyes. I seen him call crafts out the sky. And no, I wasn't delusional. I know what I saw. Okay. He is an extraterrestrial. He was sent here to this planet. He's an incarnated extraterrestrial. He was sent here to gather a portion of their seed that the extraterrestrials left here on Earth. You don't believe it? Go to your Bible for all you Christians that are listening to Genesis chapter 6 and read that and tell me what are the Nephilims. Look up the Hebrews translation and tell me what that is. And they said they went in unto the women and they bore them children. That means that they came down and had sex with these women, and these women gave birth to children. So now, Dr. Malachi York been talking about extraterrestrials way back in the 60s, even before I was born. His books talked about it. But we were so enwrapped under the spell that was cast 6,000 years ago on an Enocyte seed. So what happened was when the spell was cast on us, it made us blind, deaf, and dumb. And you did to this day, you even see women perming their hair, shaving their noses, bleaching their skin, and doing everything to look like the Caucasian race, who is a weaker genetic makeup of us. They come from a weaker the Caucasian race. It comes from the monkey, the pig, and the simian, the monkey, the pig, and the beast, and the dog. They are a mixture of that. And they don't have hair, they have fur. And that's why their hair is straight like an animal. And our hair is wabard. We have kingly hair. The sun hits our hair and it curls into the number 9. So I don't want to get into all of this. I'm just explaining for those of you who may be newcomers that I'm a student of Dr. Malachi York. They incarcerated this man, and the girl I just showed you on the wall, and I'm gonna get into all these pictures on the wall. Her name is Abigail, and she is the reason why Dr. Malachi York is incarcerated. It was Abigail and her and Dr. York's son Jacob York. He got Abigail together, told her, say, yo, we need to set this up. You know, you could do it. You could help me do it. I need you. And she knew which girls to get to lie on him because she lived on a property in what we call Tamaray, which was 476 acres of land in Georgia. So Dr. York was getting too famous. He was getting too powerful, and they needed to stop him. And like they do all of our leaders, they either kill them or they put them in prison. And they always use our own race to do it. And that's why I got all these witches on the wall. All right? Yes, they're witches. Now, not all of them. It's a few that aren't witches, but I'm explaining to you why they up on this wall. Now, let me read something to you real quick. And then we're going to get to the wall and I'm going to break it down, all right? Okay, no, not this. Where's the other? I can't stand when this happens. As soon as I go live, oh, here it is. I found it. Okay. I want to read this. This is okay. This is to confirm and to back up what I'm saying. This is a patara called Sarabu Wu Karabu. Okay. And it says, I'm going to start on verse 70. It says, many evil beings would start wars and pa patat at heavens. This is recorded in many records of many people on earth in the past. Wars or fighting in the sky between gods, angels, devils, and demons. In past times, beings from above were told, do not mix your DNA genes with the Homo erectus, Homo genus, Homo sapien. This is not a good thing. Well, some of the sons of these sky beings came to Earth for vacation. There were 200 in all. They saw humanoids having Janus, sex, in their fields and gardens, Magenat gardens, and became sexually attracted to the female humanoids. This 200 killed their men and raped the women, then returned to the skies. But in time, there was talk of the rape of the daughters of humans and the killings of their men. Yet, as worse as that was, that these 200 daughters of the humanoids became pregnant with the children of these cherubim. As you read in the Hebrew records, Ha Tanakh, called the Torah, the laws, in Genesis chapter 5, verse 4, in the days of the earthling Adam, after he had been gotten, Seth were 800 years, and he begot sons and daughters. And you also see recorded in that same scroll in Genesis chapter 6, verse 1. And it came to pass when earthlings, Adam, began to multiply on the surface of the earth, and daughters were born unto them. That the sons of the Elohim gods saw the daughters of earth, and that they were good at what they were doing. And the sons of the Elohim, they just took them as wives of all which they required, they selected. As word of this act spread up, pa patat, that means heavens in our language. The heavens, they were asked, did you violate the laws on sex with humanoids? And all the 200 of them lied and denied, claiming that they had sex with the daughters of humanoids. When the children were born of these little women, the sons born of them were tall in height. And this made it clear that 200 had lied, for these sons were that the 200 had lied, for these sons of the sons were demigods, Gabar Gibor, and like the cherubim were very disagreeable and wicked. In other words, they gave birth to these children, and they were very disagreeable and they were wicked. And it was also recorded in the records of the Hebrews of Mesopotamia in Genesis chapter 6, verse 3 through 5. And it reads, there were fallen there were fallen one in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of the Elohim raped the daughters of earthling, and they gave birth to children. And these children turned out to be Gabor, mighty strong men, tall in stature, and became known by all by who their fathers were. And the Elohim saw that the wickedness of these offsprings were great in the earth. They raped, they killed, they took. It was their very evil nature in their mind is evil and wickedness. Every imagination of their thoughts and their hearts was only evil continually. And the sons would also eat human flesh. These Giborhim, became the angels of the religion of Mesopotamia. They, the fallen ones, wished to return to the skies, yet were rejected again and again. And they did war in heaven, yet and still was cast out of all the star constellations and made to dwell on earth. And the sons of these Elohim, disagreeable, mixed with the cursed sons of Canaan, Canaanites, to birth the Celtic, Salalu races and their religion, Wiccan. Wiccan is witchcraft. And Druids became monotheism, Abrahamism of Mesopotamia. These are the Mudwadu, evil ones on earth, and how they came to be given 6,000 years from 4000 BCE to rule. It ended in 2000 AD, and Patanen, the Draconians, Patanenu, the Draconians came to abduct them for food. And they came as Anakim, sons of Raphaim, called the Anunnaki. Some call Anunnaki are agreeable. Some of the Anunnaki are agreeable, but the ones that came down and raped the humanoids were wicked. And what they did was, when they raped these women, they gave birth to these tall giants on the earth. And that's recorded in the book of Genesis. And then they gave birth. These giants on the earth had sex with mortals and humans, and then they mixed their genes in with the Canaanites, and then the Canaanites mixed their genes in with the seed on earth. And now this is why the planet is such a mess, because we got the devil's seed here on earth and they're wicked. So now, and this also talks about them becoming food for the gods. Like they keep thinking these aliens are here, and oh, the aliens are here. Oh, these aliens, they're here, and some of them are nice. No, they're coming here to eat you. All right? This planet is a farm. They're coming to feast and eat you like a rotisserie chicken. Like they take the chicken and stick it up the rectum of a chicken and wrapped in tie the hands and roll it around. You're going to be a roast, a chicken. Those children of the devil are going to be a playground for the devil. They're going to eat you. You're food for the gods. And this is taught to us in our doctrine by Dr. Malachi York. Y'all can call us a cult. Y'all can say we crazy. Y'all said that then. And now y'all seeing spacecrafts and aliens everywhere. Y'all said he was crazy. Oh, the man crazy. They believe in spaceships. Now you see them everywhere. And now they're trying to use the plane crashes to distract you so that you won't look up in the sky and see the airplanes. And then they came up with AI so that way you won't know what's real from what's fake. But those of us who know, we know. All right? So now, let me read this. Oh, okay, I read that. Pa Benu. Did I read that? Page 1 through 7. I'll read this later. Um, I wrote a list of things. Okay. Hold on, let me see. Can I read this? Well, all right. I want to read this. One of the reasons why I'm going to read this is because you got false teachers that claim that they walk with Nawapians and they don't. And they're on the internet saying that they're working for Dr. York, they're here to help Dr. York, and they're not. Because if they was really serious about working for him, you would see it in their actions, not just talk. They use his scriptures, they use his image, they use his teachings, and they do this to attract people so that way they can get attention, they can be famous and known on the internet. So I'm reading this, and this one is for you, phase one, for aka false one. Look, all you gotta do is take his name, take the I, put an L there, and you got the word false. FAISE, false one. All right, he's fake. All right. It says for those, and this is coming from the master teacher. For those who try to become interpreters of these most holy words of Wunawap will only find that they have lost their souls and return to that ignorant state which I find you all, blind, deaf, and dumb, leading others into ignorance. If you knew what I meant, because phase one is going around telling everybody that he was sent, that he's bringing people to the doctrine. You can't bring people to the doctrine if you don't study our doctrine, because you stated for a fact, and this is on record, that the master teacher did not write these books when he did. Now his writing privileges is open. Why don't you write him? Write him and ask him, did he write these books? Because I'm tired of you all saying that you got this love for the master teacher, but you never wrote him. You don't try to go visit him. You say this ain't true, that ain't true, and you're only making these statements because he's incarcerated. So he said, if you knew what I meant, then why do you need to read what I brought unto you of Wunuwapu? What fools mortals become once they think they found a way to benefit and profit on others, to become a benefactor of that which is not their own message or works, who seek a way to lead unknowing people that they may use and make them subservient to them. Yet their point in time is quickly coming upon them. when they shed this flesh and blood, and then will be asked of their usury and abuse of those who trusted in them, standing there nude of flesh, and reason for it was to please the flesh that they did such acts. They will have no words, only shame and regret, followed by much grief, yet it cannot be undone then. So stop trying to stand in my shoes, being as I am. You can never do the works assigned to me, only obey and follow and accept parts of the way. Why do you become of the ungodly for your ego and pride? You will be your greatest fear alone. Do you not know that Panatharu looks on and will judge you all by your weaknesses, not your strongest? Why make weak Nawapians follow you? Are you a judge? Are you competent to judge the world or even the most trivial of people? When you won't even judge yourself for your own weaknesses, do you know that Panatharu will judge you, not so much by your actions, which all can see with an open eye, yet by your intention of your heart, which are not seen by those who follow you in faith and truth, yet seen by Panatharu the overseers. Therefore, if you still have disputes about this matter, Patarak the way, and what has come down to you, it is not Pa Meditat, Pa Hakak, Shalul Hakak at. The actual facts, it is not the way. Is it not the way? It is the way you wish for our way to be. That which is your own way, the wrong way. Don't fool yourself. And those who follow others or myself in many schools, they never really follow. And all of the tenets of the schools before this, they always had to do it their way. A way that leads nowhere, no place, only self gratification and grandeur, which they only receive by you following them. Depart from them, for this is a divine revelation to you personally from Panatharu, your personal warning of these last days. If you love them, call them to come with you and lay aside their ego and pride, for it will only lead to much unhappiness for you all sooner than you think. Call them and those who blindly follow them to return to Wunuwap and reject their mistranslations and misinterpretation of this divine revelations. Sad but true. This same action has happened to others in the past when a warner came to them as words. There's always some to take the words and change them to suit their own hidden agenda. Many follow them, not knowing what harm they have done to their own soul. Don't follow them. If only you knew the outcome. They will say, I follow Atum Ray. I love him. I obey his words. I'm with him. They will say, it's not me that's wrong. It's those he trusts. Why doesn't he trust me? Make me a leader. Give me a title that I may look good before people. I am with him all the way. I support him all the way. Yet they are lying, not only to you, but what's sad is they are lying to their own self, yet they don't even know it. They have convinced themselves that they are the best Nawapians, the most devoted and true. It is like an unknown disease eating away at them as they seek power. Why? Because they fear being alone. That was for you, phase one, false one. All the rest of you sitting up there trying to gather people amongst you to study under you and make you think that you're so powerful. Meanwhile, the master teacher, they're trying to take him out. What are we doing to come together so that he could come home? Nothing, right? Nothing. And then the one person like myself that's trying to help him, y'all, listen, let me tell you something. All these women on this wall, there may be a few, I'm going to break it down, have done witchcraft on me. All right? They're witches. That's what they do. They've all put witchcraft on me, either by lighting candles, going to voodoo priests, sacrificing animals, doing all types of wicked stuff to me. All right? To me, little old me, I'm only 5'2", harassing me, coming in my home. I've invited some of these women in my home. Look, we're going to get to it. All right? Hold on. There's something else I got to break down too. I'm going to break that down later. Oh, hold on. No, there's one more thing I gotta read to y'all. Hold on, let me see what this is. Okay, okay, 1 minute. I gotta break this down, y'all. I got to break this down. Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. What page is that? Revelations chapter 17, verse 8. L's Holy and Chill, chapter 17, verse 8. I'm going to go in there now. Okay, here we go. All right. First of all, let me explain something to you all. Hold on a second. Let me turn this around for a minute. I gotta get up and I want to be respected and respectful. Okay. Pull this chair up. How you move this thing? Okay. All right. This up here. Okay. I need to explain something to you all. And then we're gonna get to this wall. The master teacher is incarcerated because I mentioned this before, but I just want to make it even more clearer. The master teacher is incarcerated because they're trying to prevent him from opening the Stargate. Okay? What is a Stargate? A Stargate is a vortex that opens up the gateway to get out of here, right? And so even when crafts come here, they can't just come and go. It's just like a traffic signal when you're driving, right? If it says 80 miles an hour, you can only go 80 miles an hour. If you go faster than that, then you can cause an accident, right? And if you stop at a green light, you can cause other cars to hit you. But if it says yellow, that means slow down. And if you pass a red light, you can get hit and get killed, right? So intergalactical traveling with spacecrafts is the same way. They have intergalactical laws and they have times and dates when vortex opens and when they close, right? Or times when they can leave and come. Okay. So now, what Dr. York, Melikazi York was doing was he set up a land on Tamaray and he set up certain different sites that was energy fields, right? And so he was teaching, he had two hemorphidites that he was teaching the ancient hieroglyphs, how to read the ancient hieroglyphs. And at one point, when he had the pyramid set up, one of the crafts came over the pyramid, but it wasn't one of our crafts. Okay, put it this way. You see different people in cars, right? So you might see a group of people. Let me take this off so I won't read the comments. You might see a group of people in cars, right? Low riders, smoking weed, right? Are those good people drinking and driving? No. Then you might see a group of people in a car and it's a family and they're going to Disney World, right? So if you see the families, if you see a van with children in it and a family, you're going to look at that. Okay, those are good people. But if you see cars tinted, they got on shades, they smoking weed and they're drinking and the women are dressed provocative. So I'm using those cars as a way to explain how spacecrafts are. They're not all good. Some are good, some are wicked. You understand? And some of them are slaves that work for other planets, okay, that come here. So what Dr. Melikazi York was doing was he was setting up landing sites for the crafts to come in. And he was raising people up consciously through our diet, what we seen, what we heard. We didn't really watch TV too much. You understand? We watched the news. We worked, we lived for and of and by each other, and we worked together. So what happened is Satan, the devil, send witches. They have to send them that look like us. They send witches in to cause tablul. In our culture, tablul means confusion, right? Because in order For so what when Malachi had the two Hermaphrodites on the land, he was teaching them how to read ancient hieroglyphs because he was preparing them because he needs two Hermaphrodites and two Hermaphrodites to stand at a point. Think of the letter X. So he needs one on the left side of the X, one on the right side of the X, north, south, east, and west, right? So these beings, these hemorphidites and hermaphrodites, would help, and then in the center of that X would stand the golden child to open up the Stargate. Okay, and so what happened was Sheriff Seals, right? The pink man who you see that was they used to attack the Nuwapians. First of all, Georgia is a racist state. Everybody knows the history of slavery and what they did to black people in Georgia. Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, even in New York, even in all over this country has blood on their hands. All right. They built this country off the back of slaves. And if you ever see a tree hanging down, you see a tree stem going like that, that was where a body was hung on those trees. All right, that's the history, and that's why Mother Nature is going to work now. And you seeing this disaster all over the place. It's because Mother Nature is upset. They're angry about what took place, and they're also angry with their own seed that's participating in the wickedness on the planet. Okay, so now Dr. York had for two hermaphrodites and hermaphrodites that he was teaching how to read ancient hieroglyphs. And while he was teaching them how to read ancient hieroglyphs, Abigail, who you call Habiba, was trying to reverse it, teaching the people on the land a different type of Nubic. Because Dr. Melikazi, okay, this is how Dr. York mind is. First of all, we need our own language. We need our own land. We need our own culture. And we need something that amounts to something that has absolutely nothing to do with the Caucasian in their race because they've done such a great job at destroying us mentally. So with the language, like how you see Hispanics when they speak the Spanish, they have this camaraderie where they come together. The language will bring us together and have us all thinking as one. So Malachi, Dr. Malachi York had, who we refer to as Pontabab Yanu now, had on the land a language called Nubic that they were all speaking. So they took the Arabic language and mixed it with another language, and they were speaking a language that they created, the children that were being raised up. And Abigail was like the ringleader of them all. You understand? And so you understand? And so what happened was she was teaching them this language and they were communicating with each other so that the people that spoke the original language wouldn't understand what they were talking about. You feel me? So what Dr. Melikazi York did as he was teaching the hemorphidites and hermaphrodites how to read the hieroglyphs, right? Because these beings, they vibrate. They vibrate in the spirit world and in the physical world, and they see things that the average humanoid does not see. Okay, they vibrate twice as powerful than a human. Okay, or even the children of the Natharu, they need those type of beings because of their vibrational rate. Okay, so what happened was that while Malachi was trying to teach them this and trying to build us, you had spies, agents, informants, and most of all, you had witches, right? That was on the land. And their job was to cause confusion. And some of them, their job was to report back to the agents to say, listen, they're doing this now. They're doing that now. And then they use the news to say we're a cult. They're a cult. But they don't mess with those Amish people. Have y'all noticed that? They don't call them a cult. They living in the 1600s. But as soon as we establish our foundation and our land, that's when they was afraid. They was like, we got to stop that, man, because then we're going to lose our power. Just like in Genesis chapter 9, verse 11. Or was it 11 verse 9? I always get it mixed up. When they built the tower and they wasn't, what happened was Cush came back from West Africa. He went into Mesopotamia, the land of witches and warlocks and evil, disagreeable Elohims, started to teach them the language of Napatan, the Napatan language. And then now these beings were unable to communicate. They weren't on their sequence anymore. They couldn't play the mind games that they do anymore to them. And they said, yo, we got to go down there and confuse their language, because now anything that they try to do, they're going to be successful. And we need, this is a similar situation that I'm explaining to you that happened with Malachi with when he was on the land teaching us our language. So what happened was Sheriff Howard Richard Sills saw a craft over the Black Mirror, but it wasn't one of our crafts. It was one of theirs. So let me explain to you. See, these beings that are coming here, they're coming to eat them. Look, just like they have, you got to watch the movie called Midnight Meat Train. You got to watch the movie called The Fourth Kind. You got to see these movies because it's real about extraterrestrials and it's telling you the truth about this planet being a farm. And so these extraterrestrials, they like flesh and blood and they eat humanoids. Okay? So when Sheriff Sills saw the craft over the mirror, that's when he started to attack the people on the land. He started coming with violation zones, this kind of zone. Oh, you can't build that. You got to do this. And Malachi is only one person. Yeah, he's a powerful man, but he put responsibilities into the hands of the people that walk with him, and they failed him at that. Okay? Because even now, while he's incarcerated, you would think that the people that was on the land would have fought for their property back, because all they had to do was pay the taxes, which was $10,000 a year. And they could have still had their property. They let them take the land. It was an elaborate scheme to put this man in prison, to take him away, and they used witches to do it. So now I had to tell you that. So the reason why Malachi is really incarcerated is because they're trying to prevent him from opening the Stargate. All right. Just like aliens have wars in the skies. Y'all see it on TikTok and on Instagram when people be posting it on their page. And you see like this lightning going on, but there's no thunder. Those are crafts fighting each other. Those are who they call aliens in the Bible. Those are really extraterrestrials. And they would say that they're aliens, oh, white babies with wings. They would put this stuff in your mind to put you under a spell so that when somebody come and tell you the truth, you say, oh, you got that from the movie The Predator. Oh, you got that from Star Trek. Oh, yeah. Girl, please. Until you actually see a real alien, where some people are seeing them now all over the place. No one can say that they don't exist because now we know that they do. So now, Zuin is an evil being that was once in the ranks of the good extraterrestrials. Just like you see in Congress, you see some of these people that are up in ranks and then they get arrested and get put in jail. Well, this is what happened to Zuin. He is the son of Enlil. All right, these are Anunnakis, disagreeable Anunnakis. And he was in the ranks of the in the heavens, which was a place, a physical place that they called Melikut. And he was taken from a species, a married species of evil beings, and was raised and taught by the angel Michael, who we know is Melchizedek. And he went against the grain, he went against the laws. He started to do what we see people in our tribe doing now, creating their own doctrine. There's a brother by the name of Haru Hotep. He used to walk with Dr. Malachi Z. York, and then he left and started doing his own thing, just like the brother Polite. Polite used to walk with us because he never really met Dr. Malachi Z. York, but he studied our doctrine, and then he went off doing his own thing. And so what happened was when they did this, now he's in jail. So Zuin, the devil, started to teach a doctrine that there was no most high. And he started teaching all those who listened to him. And he fell, and the 200 fallen beings fell from grace. And now they're here on earth. And we're dealing with their children. So one of the reasons, again, why Malachi Z. York is in prison is because these devils, the Caucasian devils, were afraid that because they're 6,000, they were only given 6,000 years to rule on the planet, and their time is up. So they figured if we get Malachi locked up and lock him up, that'll prevent them from opening the Stargate. That'll prevent their children from leaving here, because once we're gone, there goes all chaos going to happen on the planet. Okay, so now I had to tell you this. I'm going to read this to you, and then we're going to go to this wall, and it's going to blow your mind if you think with a spiritual eye and listen with a spiritual ear, and stop thinking that I'm the enemy. Okay, because be honest with you, I didn't even really want to go live, but I'm doing it because I care. What type of woman would I be if I know these people and their wickedness and I don't warn you and say anything? And I just say, oh, well, that's on them. You know what I'm saying? That would be wrong for me to do that. I have to tell you the truth. So, right now, I'm reading L's Holy and Jill. This is a scripture written by Dr. Malachi York, and it's explaining the book of Revelations. And we call it L's Holy and Jill. Okay? So now, I'm on page 731 for those of you who would like to follow. Revelations chapter 17, verse 8. And then we're going to get to the wall and I'm going to break it all down. But I have to let you all hear this so you will understand what I'm talking about. And then we're going to line everything up. Okay? Now, in the year 1966, is the year 1966 the birth of the child. That's the day that the devil was born on earth. Okay? In the year 1966 AD, the devil, Satan, Lucifer, gave birth to 13 children. His sons were born in every country that he controls. So we know that the devil controls America, Germany, Iran, India, and China, to name a few. All over the world. On June 6, 1966 AD, one of Satan's 13 sons was born in the Western Hemisphere in New York City. You, the Nubian populace, did not even know what was going on because they kept everything cloaked under some type of disguise. The devil has camouflaged these factual events in a series of movies and has told you the truth without you even realizing it. He purposely puts everything that he is doing right in front of your face. You are just so far under the spell that you are not able to see it. The first movie that dealt with the birth of his own son was Rosemary's Baby, the movie that half of the population in America saw, but just looked at it as a sheer entertainment. On June 6th, 1966 AD, Satan was born in the flesh unto Rosemary in New York, or the New York in the Dakota House. New York is the capital of America, and that the European family, the Yorks. Let me stop right there. First of all, Dr. Malachi York name is spelled Yorke. He changed his name from Ali Imam Isa El Hadi El Mahdi to Dr. Malachi York and moved to the south. So York is not really his name, okay? That is the name that he took on because he was brought to the York family as a child. This is a fact. You don't believe me? Read the true story of Noah. Okay? Read that story. Ask any true Nawapian student of the master teacher that read those books. You will see him do his family timeline and say that Mary York is his mother here in America. USA mom. That's not his biological mother. That is Dale's mother. Let me show you who mother that is. Hold on a second. That is her mother. She's the head witch of the Nawapians, all the witches in the tribe. Okay? Okay? She's the head witch, and that's her daughter. We're gonna get into it. Because listen, y'all, let me tell you something. let me explain something to y'all. When I started reading this and studying it, I didn't get scared, but I was like a little like, yo, this is a real sci-fi situation. These are real witches. And this is real. And they work for the devil. They work for the devil. I'm going to break it down. Now let's continue. So now New York is the capital of America that the European family York established. And that woman that I just showed you, she's a descendant of the Yorks. Okay? That's where they get that last name from. I'm going to break it down. So, in the 1800s AD from Yorktown, England, New York is the seat for the Statue of Liberty, which is symbolic of the Queen of England. The Statue of Liberty is a woman coming out of the water with 7 horns holding a torch. Now I want to show you something. Now look at this. What does she have in her hand, y'all? A torch. What does she have in her hand? A torch. This is Dale Elaine Brown. She is the head witch. All right. What does she have when I said the witches that changed the course of our story? What does she have in her hand? A torch. Look at that hat. That is not the hat of a pharaoh. All right. That is the same hat that Jezebel in the book of Revelations and else holy and Jill that the master teacher had, Jezebel had on that same hat. That is not the hat of a pharaoh. Okay? She is a witch and she is wearing that hat similar to the Statue of Liberty. All right? I just need y'all to see that. Now let's get back to the book of Revelations. Now, it says here, so the Statue of Liberty is a woman coming out of the water with 7 horns holding the torch. The Statue of Liberty, let me get some water. Hold on. Woo. Y'all, oh, okay. The Statue of Liberty is a woman coming out of the water with 7 horns holding a torch. The Statue of Liberty was given to America by the Grand Orient of France. It was originally called Liberty Enlightening the World. It was given as a gift from the French to American people to honor the 1876 AD Centennial celebration. The exterior copper shell in the form of a classical draped female figure carrying a torch was designed in 1870 into through 1875 AD by a French sculptor named Frederick Augustin Bartholdi. The Masonic Lodge of France gave it to them. Now, let me show you something else about her. What does she have on, y'all? Masonic. Are we Masonic? The answer is no. We're not Masonic. We're Sabians. Okay? We're not Masonic. I wanted you to see that's the sister Dana over there with her, and that's her. And they got their feet standing like that, okay? Because they're witches and they're Masonic. Now, let's get back to this. Then we're gonna go to the wall and I'm gonna break all of these witches. I'm gonna break the whole story down. So get in your seat, put on your seatbelt, and let's take this ride. Now, so the Masonic Lodge of France gave it to them. It was made of wood, but it fell. Then it was reconstructed of copper. The Statue of Liberty was unveiled in the New York harbor on October 26, 1886 AD. 4 days before Halloween. Okay? The month of October is the devil's month, is the satanic month. Now, back to the point. Rosemary of the movie Rosemary's Baby was not a fictitious character. She was a real Amorite. The name Rosemary, Satan's mother, was chosen because it symbolizes the ancestral background of the chosen, the ancestral background Oh, the name Rosemary, Satan's mother, was chosen because it symbolizes the ancestral background of the physical devil, the Amorite. Now let's break down the name Rosemary. Now I'm going to show you this picture here. Oh, wait a minute. I want to show you this. This is the picture that Baba has. That's the Dakota house. Okay? So let's read this. It says, now, the rose is a plant that can symbolize many things. The phase of its life cycle. Hold on, let me just turn this. It's easier for me to read it. The rose is a plant that can symbolize many things. The phase of its life cycle are comparable to the four Babylonian empires. Its beauty represents the glory and grandeur of each of these empires, its death by their decline and eventual end. Its rebirth every spring represents the rise of a new and even more glorious empire out of the ruins of its predecessors. The thorns of the rose plant represents the pain and suffering experienced by the countries that have been at the mercy of their rule. The rose is also symbolic of the War of the Roses, a war which occurred in Europe in the 1800s between two families, the Yorks and the Lancasters. These were two Amorite cursed seeds, right? The War of Roses. The Lancasters did not want to intermarry with the Yorks. Thus, a family feud occurred, resulting in the Lancasters moving to America in the South. So the Lancasters, those are the descendants of the ones in the South that used to beat the slaves. Those were the barbaric ones that raped them, right? And the reason why Amorites are called crackers is because during slavery, they used to crack the whips across the slave's back. Now, the name Mary, that's her daughter's name, Mary. The name Mary represents the paganistic and satanic religion. Let me show you her daughter, Mary. So this is her daughter. Her daughter name is Mary. Her last name is York. That's Mary York. That's her mother, Dale Elaine Brown. And that's her daughter, Mary York. Okay? So let's see what the name Mary means. So the name Mary represents the paganistic and satanic religion which they uphold, Christianity. Mary was the mother of the Messiah, but in order for Christianity to falsify the Trinity concept, they used Nimrod, the great Nubian king of Babylon, and his mother Semiramis, who he married. Everywhere statues appeared of Semiramis holding little Nimrod, she was accepted as the queen of heaven. Ashtar, this is the mother and child idol. Madonna holding a baby. Her symbol became the moon. Nimrod, her husband and son, became known as Baal, the sun god, and his symbol became the sun. Now, we can get into it. The devil, this is coming from the teachings of Dr. Malachi Z. York. Okay? The devil has to set up a coven, an assembly of witches, to exercise his satanic powers. But before the coven can do this, it must consist of 12 members, with the 13th member being the devil himself. Now, what is a coven? A coven is an unlawful agreement. A coven means coming together, binding agreement made by two or more persons, a compact as a pact with the devil. Okay? Now, the congregation of Coven exists predominantly in England, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Salem, Massachusetts, Australia, New England, and South America. The Pope, who heads Italy, one of the countries controlled by the beast, the President of the United States, as well as political leaders of other countries around the world, are all a part of the Brotherhood of Satan. Again, the congregation of a coven exists predominantly in England, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Salem, Massachusetts, Australia, New England, and South America. The Pope, who heads Italy, one of the countries controlled by the beast, the President of United States, as well as political leaders of other countries around the world are all a part of the brotherhood of Satan. So when we see that the master teacher is incarcerated, who do you think put him in there? Okay? Now, we're going to get even deeper. Okay? And then we're going to go to this wall. What they don't tell you is that there's a connection between the Bush and the Roosevelt family. Now, what is Shalimar's father's name? Shalimar's father name is Eli Roosevelt Richardson. Now, this I'm not saying that he had anything to do with the master teacher being incarcerated, but I just need to explain something to you all so that you can see how everything is lining up and there's no such thing as a coincidence. What is Shalimar's father name? Roosevelt Eli Richardson. What was the name of the judge that incarcerated Baba, that sentenced him to 135 years? Judge Royal. What was the name of the sheriff? Sheriff Seals. They're not names, they're titles. Check it out. They're not names, they're titles. Okay? So now, what they don't want to tell you is there's a connection between the Bush and the Roosevelt family. All of them are related in some way or another. They refer to themselves as the royal family. This is common knowledge that the former president Quayle is related to George Bush, not to mention that Richard Bruce Cheney, the Secretary of Defense, you would never guess the woman they considered the most sexiest woman who ever lived. Yes, the late President Kennedy mistress, Marilyn Monroe, which also links back to Bush, not to mention Benedict Arnold, who was a fourth cousin of Abraham Lincoln. Okay, so now I'm going to get back into this. I just want to read that to you so that you all can understand. What was the name of Dr. Malachi Z. York's judge? Judge Royal. Did Judge Royal belong on Dr. Malachi Z. York's case? No. You know why? Because he was on a case prior to Malachi York. He was a attorney in Eli Roosevelt Richardson. Roosevelt. What's the coincidence that his name is Roosevelt Richardson? And the Roosevelt family is related to the Bush family, and they were all presidents, and they all are part of the brotherhood of Satan. All right? What is the coincidence? And her name, their last name is York, and the Yorks and the Lancasters had a feud going on. You understand? Over blood. Okay? Now check this out. So let's go to the wall, and then I'm gonna come back here because I gotta show y'all something. Okay. So now here is the Queen Witch, Dale Elaine Brown. Okay, this is Kedar Massenberg's mother. All right, here she is again. This is Kedar Massenberg's mother, and this is his sister. Her name is Mary York, and that's Dale. All right, they're witches. This is them at the ball. Okay, and they're only there to collect money. They not there to do nothing, and they're the reason why Malachi York is in prison. Okay, because when Abigail, right? When Jacob York went to get Abigail, Jacob York contact Kedar. Kedar contact his sister, Fatima, and she contact her mother. They were witches. They cast a spell. And this is another spy, and also her name is Rochelle York. She was also on Tamaray. She was on the land as well. She lived on the land. Here she go right here. She lived on Tamaray. This is them dressed in their Egyptian attire. This is Baba's daughter Hajar. She was a part of it too. They all conspired against Malachi to put him in prison. And let me tell you what else they did. They did a ritual called the snake tongue and coffin ritual, right? And these were the witches that were there. This is why I put this here. This is Raina. This is Dana. This is Robbie. And this is Neeful right here. These women, Raina, Dana, Robbie, and Neeful, and Rochelle, they all used to hang out and live in the same house together. Now, Hajar, this is Baba's daughter. Look, does she look the same? You could tell she was happy there. You know, she went against her father. This is her sister. The reason why she is here. I'm gonna get into that a little later. But let's get into this. Raina, Dana, Robbie, and Neefel. Okay, so you had Raina right here, Dana, Robbie, Neefel, Joaquin, Fatima, Rochelle. This is Bobby's daughter, Leah, and his other daughter, Hajar. Okay. Now, what happened was these sisters were working together, and they also did, I don't think Leo was there, but she knows about it. They did what's called the snake tongue and coffin ritual led by her. All right. She was dating a mortician at the time, and she got a coffin. And they took Dr. Malachi Z. York's clothes, some of his jewelry, some of his tapes, and they did this coffin ritual so that he would never get out of prison. Okay? It was witches. And this is Rochelle. Here she go here. You know, I had to get this picture because I'm like, you know, you're working for the government against Malachi to keep him in prison. And now here you are with a cloak wrapped around you, pretending that you're so innocent. This is Janet Goldman. She's a witch too. That's Zanitra Cross. She's a witch too. That's the girl, Gadushtak. They're all witches. That's Nabatet. They're all witches. And so what happened was this is what happened. Witches deal with what's called familiar spirits. Right? Hold on. Let me get this thing. Let me put this thing on here. Because I want y'all to see their face as I tell y'all what they did. Okay? Hold on. I got my stand here. I'm about to put this about to put this on my stand. Okay. So the stand can hold it up and y'all can see their face without me hold on a second. All right, hold on. All right, there we go. All right. This is better. Oops. Okay. Okay. This is better. So now y'all can see their faces as I talk, okay? Y'all can see all the witches. All right. So now let me get this paperwork. I gotta read this too, because I want y'all to understand something, okay, about witches. Now, what witches do is they have to conjure up dead spirits. All right. And so, hold on, because I took some notes. Okay. So now what witches do is they have to conjure up dead spirits, right? And they raise the dead with what's called familiar spirits that they have tied to their bloodline in their veins, okay? And they vibrate on their frequency and they give them life, okay? And then what they do is they conjure up these familiar spirits and they open themselves up, right? And so now what happens is these gods or these evil Elohim, they come up out of the earth as ghost specters. And they call them by their names and tones. Now, these evil spirits, let me tell you something, this is nothing to play with. You can go in the first book of Samuel's, chapter 19. It talks about the evil spirits from their lords. And in the 18th chapter, in the book of Sam, first book of Samuel's, in the 18th chapter, in the 10th verse, in the 16th chapter, in the 14th verse, you can read about that. Okay, this is all found in the first book of Samuel's. Okay, and that's who the book of Samuel's represents. Sam, the son of Sam, 666. Okay, so they call on these evil Elohim spirits. All right, and in Revelations chapter, the third chapter, in the 20th verse, it says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hears my voice and opens the door, I will come to him and sup with him and he with me." So now that door that they're talking about is the gateway to sin, or Zuin or Nanar, who is the son of Enlil, the bright one. Okay? So now when you say knock, and when the math teacher said sin will be when they told Cain, when his countenance dropped and they told Cain that he needed to become more like to lift up his spirits and not to be wroth, that sin will be waiting at the door. He waits at the door. So what happens is when you vibrate low and you're upset and you get angry and you get mad and you get jealous, these beings can hover above your head and incarnate in your body in less than 3 seconds. Okay? Now, and then in second book of Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 14, it says, and no marvel for Satan himself transformed into an angel of light. So the door, when you open up the door is your heart center. You open up to them and they enter and take over your mind. And this is why if you look at Nababtek, I mean, look at her. Does she look the same? Look at this girl. You could tell that something has incarnated in her. Let's look at Sakina, because she's into this deep. You see, they get involved with these, they get involved. Let me see, can y'all see? Hold on, let me take this off. You know, but it's better for me to take this off because I could do it better with my hand. Oh, y'all see me? Hold on a second, y'all. Oh, take this off. Okay, let me go back to this. Okay, yeah, if this stand is irritating me. It's better for me to just let me lay it down here. Oh, excuse me. Let me lay this down here because this stand is getting on my nerve. All right. Now remember what I said. They can hoover over your body in less than 3 minutes and they be inside of you. So now these witches are messing with some real wicked spirits that they conjure up that they call familiar spirits. Okay? And in less than 3 seconds, they incarnate in them. And that's why you see them transform as you see Sakina. I mean, look at her. Now look at this picture here. Look at that. Look at this sister who has a beautiful face, beautiful hair. Look at this sister, beautiful sister, and look at Sakina. You see, they dealing with familiar spirits. Why? Because they want Dr. Malachi Z. York's money. They want his property. They want to be him. They want to be in charge. They want to be chosen, just like the devil. All right. They are children of wicked, evil beings, specters, okay, that take over them. They're not the same anymore. You see, they give themselves over to the devil. Now, look at this. This is Shalimar. She got a weave in her hair, but look at her without it. You see how they look? Because they conjuring up spirits, they're sacrificing animals, and they're messing with blood, offering blood to their lords. You understand? And maths teacher broke it down to me. He said, Tabajek, this is nothing to play with. Nothing to play with. This sister did spells on me with somebody else. She's a wicked sister. She cast spells. This sister here cast spells. This sister here cast spells. This one, they are all witches. And this Needful, Raina, Robbie and Dana, these were the four sisters that used to hang out together, and they were the ones that was causing the confusion in the tribe. And they used to go visit the master teacher, and they would come back and give us updates. All of them. She went, the only one that never went was Dana. She went to visit Baba. She went to visit Baba. She was on a visit. She was on a visit. She was on a visit. She went up on a visit too. This is Teresa. Let me tell you what she did. She went to, first of all, I got a phone call from this sister years ago when I was in Washington, D.C., working on Bob's case. So she called me. She was like, so you in Washington, what you doing? How you doing this? And so as she's talking to me, I told her I'm in D.C., I'm at the Rayburn building. I'm working with some people that's going to help Baba get out of there or at least try to get him moved. So I asked her if she could send me some money. She was like, so she got offended because I'm like, you calling me? You got 3 children with this man. So what are you doing to help me and help him? So she gives me a code number to go to the Western Union. When I go there, the number was fake. Okay, she's a devil too. And then she went to some people from Senegal to do some spiritual work on me and did some stuff to protect herself because she wants me to leave Baba alone. She wants to separate me and Panabab Yanun from each other. But the thing is, we're from the same planet. And well, I'm from a different planet, but I belong with him. You can't intervene with fates with my FATE. You understand? And the thing is, if you cared, you would have been working with me to help. But instead, he put you in that house, in that brothel house. She was in a house with her, her, her. No, she wasn't in a house. She was in a house, and she was in a house. Now, the master teacher had got, and she was in a house too. Baba had got this house in Kings Glen, Georgia, right? And this is Neeful. She was in a house too. She was called the messenger. This is Baba's daughter. This is Baba's daughter. This is Baba's daughter. And this is Baba's daughter. And what y'all thinking that just because they're Baba's children, that they not gonna bring problems in his tribe and cause issues for him? They were a part of the conspiracy. You understand? And so she was put in that house too. Because Baba called it a house, a brothel of whores, witches. Okay, so he called you a whore too, and kicked you out of the house and told you wasn't going to Brooklyn with her. All right. So now this sister, and I see why now, because you're freaking wicked. Let me tell you what she did. One day she was having a conversation with me, and she told me that when she was younger, there was a guy she was dating because she's from New York City, she's from Harlem. And she said the guy she was dating, had stood her up. And she took a knife and put it under her coat and went looking for him. And then she saw him. And he said, "Oh, what's up? Oh, I didn't mean to stood you up, blah, blah, blah." And so she said he grabbed her like to hug or whatever. And he saw that she had a knife. He said, "Oh, what's this? What's this?" This is what she told me. So in my mind, I'm like, why is she telling me this story? Right? So now one day I go over to the house because she was there. She was there. She had got kicked out at the time. I'll tell y'all about that in a minute. And she was there. No, she wasn't there. She got kicked out too. So they were all living in this house in Georgia. And when I went to go speak to her, Nabatep, because she was about to go visit Baba and I wanted to give her an update from the congressional office. And she had her phone on and had this sister here listening. It was her, and she had this sister here who's HIV positive. Her name Miriam. She had them on a three-way while I was there listening to my conversation about what I was doing for Baba. So I noticed her phone was lit up, and I said, "Oh, what's your phone lit up? What's your phone lit up for?" So I caught her spying on me or calling on a three-way, letting them listen to me, pretending that she was like happy to see me, but really was jealous because of my fight for the master teacher and all the hard work that I put in the years that he's been in there. You know what I'm saying? They're just jealous of my swag and the way I move and how I do things. They're just a bunch of freaking haters. You know what I'm saying? They're into witchcraft, casting spells. But the thing is this, you think you're going to do something to me, but you better start thinking about your freaking kids. Instead of worrying about me and worrying about who Baba's going to be when he come home, why don't you get your children out the hands of the devil? That's what you need to do. Because your kids is walking around gone and lost with wigs on. All right? Go get your freaking daughters and your children out the hands of the devil and stop doing devilishment. So this sister here, she told the sister that I was at another elder's house named Latifa. And this sister came to Latifa's house with a knife under her coat. And so I didn't know though. I went to go outside because I'm like, what is she there for? And the Umi told me that she told the elder, Tabi Jet, don't go out there because she got a knife under her coat. And she said that when she ever see you, that she was gonna stab you up. I said, stab me up for what? She was like, oh, I'm telling you. She said she was gonna stab you up. And she was standing outside. So the elder called the police. And I said, what? And she had a knife under her coat. So what is the coincidence that she tells me a story about how she had a knife under her coat because she wanted to stab her boyfriend, or she was upset that her boyfriend stood her up. And then all of a sudden, this girl got a knife under her coat waiting to stab me. Okay? So now, witches, like I said, they crafty. And then this one here was down with it too. She died. That's Zanitra. She was down with it too. And what she did was, Baba told me, Baba said, yeah, Tabitha J, she was on a plane on her way to Nigeria, to Africa, with the attorney leader holding. So that way, whatever spell they cast, whatever beef they conjured up against me, it wouldn't be on her hands because she'll be on the plane. So they can't say that she had anything to do with it. You understand? So they all was plotting against me, all of them. Okay? And so, and this one here, she tried to play quiet. Look at her. That's supposed to be Baba's wife. Look at that. She done got one of them spirit beings inside of her. And then this is Raina. Let me tell you what she did. She was living in that house too with all of them. So she's a witch. She's a witch. And them beads is Ephah. Just because, listen, you got people that could practice witchcraft and say that they're doing stuff for African and for protection, but sometimes they do evil, like she did. You know what I'm saying? So she was dating a brother named Rick. Rick was married to a sister named Rashidu. And when Baba found out about it, he kicked her out the house. So shortly after that, the brother Rick was upset that she told, because they was in a secret relationship. This is Raina. She's a witch, right? And her and Rick was in a secret relationship. And the Babtech was messing with Rick too, because she told Baba on a visit that, yeah, the Babtech was in a relationship with Rick. Because Baba says, is there anything else I need to know? Now, Rick used to be her boyfriend first. They were mates on Tamaray. And they worked in York Productions studios. And she put out albums because she's a poet. So she would do music and do, and talk her poetry over the music. And the brother Frederick Johnson was her mate. So she broke up with Frederick Johnson because he started messing around with a girl named Rashidu, very pretty sister from London, gorgeous, lot of hair. So she started with a secret relationship with Rick, and so what happened was, when Baba kicked her out the house, Rick got upset because I guess she was supposed to stay quiet about their relationship. And she told, when the wife asked her, what's going on with you and my husband, she told her the truth. The truth. So Rick got upset, gave his iPod to a young girl named Takia, and Takia found these pictures that she sent Rick with her in the nude. And I'm talking about no clothes on, legs cocked wide open, butt naked, and almost all the brothers in the tribe have this picture. And you know what she goes and do? She goes and tell the people that I'm the one that sent the pictures around. First of all, I don't even know these brothers, let alone do I have their phone numbers to send them naked pictures of you, Raina. All right? Let's get that straight. So you going around, y'all just want to bring my name up in some mess that you put yourself in. Okay? So now the brothers got the pictures, but when the sister sent me the picture, I sent it to her, and I sent it to her. And I said, the question is, who took the pictures? That's what I said. I sent it to these two women, because she lived in a house and she was over the house at the time. And I said, and she said, ooh, ooh, like that. That's what she said. And I said, the question is, who sent the pictures? And then she said she sent the pictures to Baba. And then Baba wrote me and said, I found out what Raina did to Rashidu. He said, and like I told my daughter Leah, don't play me. Now, why he brought Leah's name up, I don't know. Okay? So she got kicked out the house and kicked out the tribe. Okay? And Baba was so upset that when she went to go on a visit, it was her, Neeful, and I think it was Robbie. Yeah. Them three went to go visit Baba. And when they got on the runway, I asked her, because they came back, it was Asif Fasha going on. and we had like a Easter thing for the children, and I was there, and they came back. And I said, wasn't y'all going on a visit for Baba? And she said, the plane turned around on the runway. Baba turned the plane around on the runway. When they came up to visit him, the plane got turned around on the runway. And then after that, all I saw was pink lightning in the sky. I said, I ain't never in my life. See, I was so scared. I felt the anger. Baba was pissed about what she did to Rashido and Rick. And then on top of that, she was claiming she was Baba's wife and was living in a house. And Rick told the other girl she's just trying to use Baba for a position and a title. Baba was too through with her. Okay? So that's what happened. And like I said, and she's a witch. She's a witch. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I don't have nothing to do with them pictures being spread around by the brothers. They all got that picture of you. You understand? Because Rick, the man you, first of all, you already know how our tribe is, how Baba feels about married couples and couples breaking up families. He doesn't like it. All right? People get kicked out the tribe for that. And then when Baba asked her, Needful, well, what's going on? Is there anything else I need to know about y'all doing what y'all going on? And she said, yeah, Nabab said, suppose he had slept with Rick too. Everybody knew about that. You know, one day I came in the office. It was late at night. I went to go get some incense, and she was sitting in there with her in the dark. Okay? The both of them was sitting there, her and Rick. You know? So Rick used to date her. Rick was messing around with her. You understand? And it just got real ugly. You know what I'm saying? And Top Jet, my name is Minute and I ain't in it. I ain't have nothing to do with your beef with you and freaking Rick and them. Okay? I didn't have nothing to do with that. And what y'all decide, y'all witches and this brothel house of whores had to do. Okay? That ain't have nothing to do with me. All right? Y'all supposed to be working on Bob's case. Instead, y'all out here sleeping around with men, pretending that you got this love for Baba, doing witchcraft on me. All right? You too with your ugly self. This is Gadushtat. She another one. Look at her. You can't tell that something is in that little girl body. They all, hold on, let me smack this down. Look at her. Ew. What is that? You understand? So these people, and this, she's a spy. I already told y'all she was living in the house too. You know? And the thing is, they all just want power. That's all they want. You see, and they're spellcasters. And so they did this ritual against Baba with this coffin. And I'm pretty sure she was there. She was there. She was there. She was there. She was there because the elder from Chicago told me that when Baba got locked up, she came asking her for a billy goat. And let me tell you a story about Hajar. And this is how I know that she had something to do with her father being incarcerated. This is Malachi's daughter. One day, I had a dream. It was me and Hajar. Let me turn this back around so I can tell y'all about this. Then we're going to get to the other side of the wall. And then I'm going to finish reading. I want to finish reading. I want to finish reading Else Holy and Jill. Hold on. Let me finish read. Yeah, let me tell y'all about that. I had a dream. Okay, so y'all know Abigail. Let me show y'all who Abigail is so y'all can see who she is. Y'all know Abigail. Her son committed suicide. He hung himself. He died. All right. He's not here anymore. He took his life. And when he took his life, they had this big memorial at 719 Bushwick Avenue where they all knew each other at. And my thing is, if Malachi did such horrible things to you, why would you want to go back to a place like this? You know? And Jacob York was there too. Okay. So now, I had a dream. This how I know that Baba's daughter has something to do with it too. That she put her own father in prison. She worked with them to get the girls together to set her own father up to put him in prison. And then her sister, let me show you her sister. Then her sister That's her sister named Radia. Her sister and the father, that's them. The sister and the father put put a took out a lawsuit against Malachi for $1 billion. And she was saying that she was molested and all this horrible stuff supposedly had happened to her. And then her and her father came in together to do a lawsuit. As soon as Malachi got locked up, he got arrested on May 8th, June the 7th. There was something already paperwork. I was like, damn, Baba just got locked up. And they put the paperwork in to file a lawsuit to get all of this money. All right. $1 billion is what they wanted. And so now the sister, the reason why she on my wall, the sister, she got shot in Florida in the face, in the neck. It was on the news. Somebody ran up on and shot her, and the father, he died too. They both buried next to each other. So remember in the beginning of the Psalms of Yanun, where it said that they all got a curse put on them because of what they did to Malachi. Excuse me. They all got a curse put on them for what they did to Malachi. So now I had a dream. It was me in her jar. It wasn't a dream, it was a vision because I have dreams and then I have visions. I had a vision. It was me in her jar and we had on white, right? And it was the end of times. And school had let out. And it seemed like it was a school shooting or something. The kids was going crazy, and it was in Queens, in an area called Queens. And when I told her, I felt her energy shift when I said Queens. So now I was like, go ahead, Hajar. I'm going. I said, go ahead, go get some water. I had took a gallon of water. But back then in a dream, in a vision, we was in the end of times and water was very valuable. And she was like, no, I can't just go in there. I said, it's just water. Go get it. Like, and she didn't want to. So I went in there and took some. So then this man came up to me. He was a Caucasian man. He had a gold badge. And he said, listen, I saw what you did. He was like, I could take you in, you know. He said, but if you work with me, if you cooperate with me, and then he looked at her jar as if she had cooperated with the government, as if she was a part of it, right? So I looked at her and I looked at him and I was like, I said, I don't give a damn. I said, you want to lock me up? Go ahead, lock me up. I was like, I'm not working with y'all. Like, that's not happening. And so then what happened after that, Hajar, I kept saying, Hajar, come on, get your water, come on. And then she kept looking for her son, and her son was in danger. So I woke up and I said, Hajar, your son is in danger. She called me right away because I didn't have her number. And she said, what's going on? I said, listen, I had a vision because they're spiritual. Even though they did what they did, they ain't stupid. They know if I said I had a vision and I had a dream and I seen something, they know that it's real because their father told them to their face that I'm not from here. He told them, he said, that's my wife and she's not from here. Okay? He said, get it in your head. She's not from here. And she's all about me coming home. Told them that on a visit. So I said, your son is in danger. She said, what do you mean? I said, and I told her about the dream. And I said, there was a man in the dream. And the man that came to me in the dream, the man is from that movie called The Believers. She was like, what? So there's this movie called The Believers. And there's this real evil African man. Ooh, he looked wicked. And he had these powers. And he had all the people sacrifice their firstborn son and in a movie, and it was about them. It was about voodoo. It was about sacrificing their firstborn son. And her son was in danger in the vision. So she said to me, she said, don't tell anybody, but I'm telling y'all, all bets are off. So the thing is, she said, the man, she said she said it was a Nigerian man that I was seeing to get some work done or whatever. I don't know. And she said the man said that he wanted her to bring her son in, like to see her son or whatever. So I guess, and she said, but Baba told her, she said, my father told me, you're pregnant and it's a boy. Name him Emmanuel. And she said, my son reads the doctrine, Tabajet. I don't have to tell him to study. He reads, he prays. He's a Nuwapian, you know? And I said, oh, okay. So after I told her about her son was in danger, now her son is here today because of that. So when I went to sleep that night, Yanun came to me. Was it Yanun or El Cook? It was Baba. He came to me and said, thank you. He said, come on, we're going to get something to eat. I said, oh, okay. And, and he was explaining to me that because of what she did, her firstborn son was supposed to die. You understand? Just like Abigail's son died. They all got curses on them, y'all. This is real. This is real. This is about the devil and his agents and witches, okay? What made this girl do this to her father? I don't know, but nobody could ever listen. My dad is not in my life, all right? And he wasn't all of that. But nothing could make me turn on my father for what? Why would I want to do, especially the master, a great man, And she was like the jewels of his eyes. Look at her. Look how beautiful she is. She's not in, look at this. I mean, look at this. Look how she looked. This was the jewels of his eyes. She didn't have that satanic symbol on her thing. She had the rising phoenix on her hat. She didn't have this inverted star on hers. You understand? He took care of them. He loved his daughter. While she did this to the master teacher, y'all, I don't know. I don't understand it. All right? So now we're gonna get back into this because I got some more that I gotta explain to you all. Now, remember what I told y'all about these witches? Remember I explained that the devil has to set up a coven of witches. Okay? I'm going to get into some more about these people and explain some things to y'all. Now, now, remember I told you the name of the judge, Judge Royals, right? Now, this book was written 30-something years ago. All right? Before Malachi was incarcerated, this book was written. So now, remember, I told you about the royal family. What was the name of the judge? Judge Royal, right? Because it's about the brotherhood of Satan. The Masonics are the ones that incarcerate Dr. Malachi York. And I don't know why these people, the math teacher, he done got rid of the lodge, said no more lodge, get back in the guards. It's about Nawapu. They still with the Masonic lodge because they witches and warlocks. So now, what Baba also said, he said, what they don't want to tell you is that there's a connection between the Bush and Roosevelt family. All of them are related in some way or another. They refer to themselves as the royal family. It's not common knowledge that former Vice President Quayle is related to George Bush, not to mention Richard Bruce Channing, Secretary of Defense. You would never guess the woman they considered the most sexiest woman who ever lived. Yes, late President Kennedy's mistress, Marilyn Monroe, which also links back to Bush, not to mention Benedict Arnold, who is Abraham Lincoln's cousin. So now Bush has a long line of relatives. Y'all need to listen to this part. All familiar names such as Betty Davis, Winston Churchill, and the Roosevelts. Again, what is Shalimar's father name? Eli Roosevelt. What is the judge name? Judge Royal. It's going to get deeper. Late President Franklin D. Roosevelt and Teddy Roosevelt. If you keep looking, you'll find out that there are at least 10 other people who have had major roles in the White House that are also related to Bush. Whether it be through intermarrying or direct bloodline, there were over 21 United States presidents that were related. This should come as no surprise. They are all intertwined. This is what the Illuminati, the illuminated ones, are all about. They intend to keep the ruling power all in the family, the royal family. Why? Because they can keep control of the country and help institute one worldism. If every ruler or what you call president feels exactly the same way, You have the relatives of Bush through marriage and Eisenhower family and the Nixon family. Zachary Taylor, James Madison, and James Monroe are all a part of this so-called royal clan, whose plan is to promote one worldism. The popes from the Vatican City, the Kennedy family, and the Churchill family are the only few of the devil's advocates who hold power around the world. If you would just open your eyes, you would see the baby was born right here in the United States in New York, the pit of the devil on 72nd Street, in an apartment house that has been around since the latter part of the 1800s AD. This house is popular among the occultists because it housed witches and warlocks. In the movie Rosemary's Baby, what was the name of, hold on, I need some water, y'all. What was the name of Baba's lawyer when they got rid of Baba's attorney? They got Garland, right? What is a Garland? And then they went and got Adrian Patrick. Now listen, if you would just open your eyes, you would see the baby was born right here in the United States in New York, the pit of the devil on 72nd Street in an apartment house that has been around since the latter part of the 1800s. This house is popular among occultics because it housed witches and warlocks. In the movie Rosemary's Baby, Adrian Mercado was the chief warlock devil who gained the most attention. He was born in Glasgow, Scotland in 1849 AD and came sometime after to New York. The singer Roberta Flack has been a resident of the Dakota House for many years. In fact, Donny Hathaway was said to have committed suicide from her apartment window. It is still a question in many minds if he was a sacrifice to Satan. Adrian Mercado participated in the Sabbath, one of their rituals, and was one of the chief priests who conjured up the devil. He died in 1922 AD, and in 1886 AD, his son Stephen Mercado was born in New York, who, not by coincidence, lived in the same apartment house as Rosemary. Later in the story, we find out that Adrian Mercado is the devil, and that Rosemary's Baby was named Adrian because it was he who had come from the hell and manifested as part man and part beast to begot a son by a mortal woman, Rosemary. The devil knows the name you choose tells your life story. Thus, the name Adrian was chosen for his son. He makes it a point to disguise his nature and reality that he is an evil being by choosing common name which appear to have no significant meaning. The name Adrian, Andy, is a good example of this. Adrian stems from the word adriat, which means skillful and clever, especially in the exercise of the mental faculties, an ingenious person. So Adrian means expert, clever, skillful, and artful. These are definitely the attributes of Satan. And there are many people who know about this beastly child that was born in 1966 AD. The involvement of the Catholic Church in satanic worship is also dramatized in the film Rosemary's Baby. There's a scene in which Adrian Mercado, who is portraying a part of Satan, and the Pope, the chief warlock, were directing the preparation of Rosemary for the conception of the devil's son. That visit was for 13 hours, 13 years from 1966 AD to 1979 AD. This year was called the International Year of the Child. Not children, just one child. They made you think that they were concerned with all the children internationally, but really their primary concern was with one child, the child of the devil. This child was the one born in 1966 AD and was just 13 years old in 1979. 13 is a significant year to a boy because this is the age he reaches what is called a bar mitzvah or a coming age of a ceremony. This child being referred to in the slogan International Year of the Child is the devil. They worship the year he became a man. They also use the King Tut exposition so that they could bring their people from all over the world to Central Park with its center at 72nd Street to worship their boy devil, their Christ, the Antichrist. It is a fact that the Pope the Sixth was in New York at the time of his conception on October the 4th, 1965 AD. Pope Paul the Sixth visited New York under the disguise of it being a personal visit to appeal for peace to the United Nations. It is no coincidence that in the movie Rosemary's Baby, the night Rosemary was drugged to have intercourse with Satan, she is shown watching the Pope in the television at the celebration mass at Yankee Stadium. During the actual ritual, a pope comes with a suitcase in his hand and a coat over his arm. She kisses his ring and he forgives her, and then he hurries out to catch the plane to return to Vatican City. He also returned on June 6, 1966, for the birth of the child. Pope Paul VI was the first pope to ever come to America. So now, let's get into this. So now, that's just to let you know that this is real, that this devil is real, and that he sets up a coven of witches. Now, as I said to you all, we're going to get to this wall now. First of all, let me tell you something also. I got something I need to tell y'all about Abigail, what she did. You see how they got those cowrie shells? They be having these shells around them. Okay. So this is what they said about Abigail. They said that this is what they said in Africa. They said this woman is another evil woman. She has joined an occultic group last year. She has been given an assignment to present two people related to her for a sacrifice. She presented the master teacher and her uncle. They couldn't capture Baba's soul due to the prayers and sacrifices that we as a tribe have been making for Baba. Our prayers were heard, so we protected Baba. So they said that she is a part of some occult, and so is she. She's a part of they said the same thing about her. They said that and I said, how was she getting to, they're part of some satanic cult? Some occultic place. And I said, well, how is she getting there? They said, they just make appointments and they just go and they go sit amongst these wicked people. So she a part of it too, man. That's crazy. Here go Neeful and Rochelle. When Baba got locked up, look at them. You see, they wasn't on the land. It's a picture after the math teacher got locked up. They both was a part of the conspiracy. Look at them. Both of them was a part of the conspiracy. And she got something inside of her too. She's ugly, man. She's a part of it too. They want a position. They want power. They want to be in charge. You understand? But they all are practicing witchcraft, all of them. Janet Goins, she's a part of it too. She's a part of the coven. They're all a part of the coven of witches, all of them. And so are these women. This woman here, her name is Jacqueline Chaplin. It's her real name, but she's married to this brother. Her name is Jacqueline Milton, and this is Leonardo Milton. She's a witch and he's a warlock. And she was the one that came to my house and got a earring of mine, and I was feeling, and she kept calling me, asking me, did I feel heavy, you know? So now, the reason why she's on my wall is because she's a witch. And not only is she a witch, she's a jackal. Okay. So she has a daughter that told me that her daughter was born with a tail. And I said, I thought it was a joke. And she said, no, seriously, I was born with a tail. And see, her name is Jacqueline because she's a jackal. You see what I'm saying? That's why Baba said the names tell you who these people are. So she's a witch and she did witchcraft, and her children were on Facebook disrespecting Baba, calling him a demon, calling him a devil, and saying, shame the devil. And they was putting pictures of the master teachers a few years back all over the internet. One of her daughters was prostituting in California somewhere. And they just, and my thing is, while y'all sitting up here trying to hurt me, like I said, they have a pact with the devil. They have a pact with Satan. So even though they may want to do good, but their nature makes them do the opposite. Okay? This is another sister. This sister name is Hafsa Muhammad. All right? She's from Africa. She's Nigerian. She's a witch too, and she's evil. And let me tell you what she did. When they did the ceremony for Baba, with the brother was a bunch of brothers that went to Kenya. And y'all heard about the ceremony that was done. She was present at the ceremony. But the reason she was there, she wasn't there to help. She was there to mess it up. Okay? Because like I said, they have a pact with the devil. And she mailed me some herbs, a few years back, about 4 years ago, to take and then I wrote Bob about it, and Baba said she's trying to kill you. I said, what? He was like, yeah. He said, she's in that picture he told me to call the brother and ask him to send me her picture, and you'll see her there. So and she has a sister that was born, that gave birth to some kind of lizard. She's some type of reptilian, some type of draconian. And her name is Hafsa Muhammad. She's a witch too. They witches, and they all trying to kill me, y'all. They all try to hurt me and do witchcraft. This girl, her name is Angela Agnes Amber Rose. Now look, she got her hair up in a bun, but if she was to shave her head, she has these grooves like as if her brain is connected to her scalp, all inside her head. And she's 4'11". I think she's 4 feet. Um, she's 4'9" or something, like she's real short. And she's from Trinidad. And she came down here. So she lives with the brother Michael. I don't know if his name is Michael, some brother named Michael Ramford that live in Georgia. He won some money from a lawsuit. He got hit by a tractor trailer or something like that. And she been with him ever since. She came to my house and took uh, something that belonged to my hair. You know what I'm saying? And because I think she was talking to Leah. She was talking to her, and she told them we need something that belonged to her. And she got something from me of my hair. And then the next day I was in jail. And that's a long story. I don't want to talk about it. But witchcraft is real. So she was out to get me too, and they're all just jealous. And so I'm gonna get up to them in a minute. And so this is Farasha is her name, but her real name is Deborah Norman. And this is her in London. And this is her right here. So what happened with her is, let me sit down. Baba came to her. Hold on, y'all. I gotta smack a few people doing some goddamn witchcraft on me. You crazy? I've never done nothing to none of y'all for y'all to do that to me. And now that's why I'm exposing y'all to the world, because they will come in the name of Nawapu. She's on Facebook, and her name on Facebook is Hatep Senentet Katie. That's her name. And look, I got them all they passkey seals, all her daughters. And Baba sent them. He didn't send them to me. He said, you're not my office. He sent it to the office. He sent some of the passkey seals to her, and then sent some of the passkey seals to her. And I was like, why Baba sending it to them wicked women? Now I know why. You understand? So, so now, this is Farasha. Let me sit down. So, Hanabab Yanun came to her in a dream. And how I knew it was the master teacher, because Yanun came to me in real life. He had on a brown suit. But I thought he was just a man trying to flirt with me on the bus. And I lowered my gaze and I looked out the window the whole time. But it was Yanun. And he had on a brown suit. So she called me and said Yanun came to me in a brown suit. And Baba told her to get some brothers together to work with me to help me, right? Because at this point, Baba was really sick and he needed, support. and he needed me to take care of some things for him with the congressional office. So she got involved. She got some brothers together. I don't know if it's these brothers, 'cause I don't know them. And then shortly after, she started doing little slick stuff, like trying to hurt me. And it says Juliet Sharp. She's from London too. And she told the brother, she got mad at me, right? And told the brothers not to support me anymore. And all the brothers from London stopped supporting me. Why? And then when she worked in the office with Baba used to tell her all the time, "How's your husband, Juliet? How's your husband?" Why did Baba have to tell her that? Because she was so busy thinking about you married, you got a husband, but you working in the office looking at Baba like you like him. And Baba used to have to remind you and say, "How's your husband?" So I want to show y'all something too later on about this. So she told all the brothers to stop supporting me. She shut me down and told the brothers to stop supporting me. This is her again, with their thing. You could tell they look funny, man. They witches. She's a witch too. All right. So, like I said, she tried to stab me up. This is Sonia Graves, who calls herself Sia Aminadon. Here she go here. She another sister that's been passed around. She a witch too. They witches. And let me tell you something. They're mean. They mistreat people. Thank you for your video, Tabajet. Dr. York appreciates as well all that you do. Oh, thank you, Ebony York. So the thing is, this is Sia Aminadon. She's a witch too. And see, I'm gonna teach y'all something about witches. They don't, they have to have a mate. They don't care if a man mistreat them as long as they got a man in their life. They always go from man to man to man. And this is Denise Dudley. She another one. Look at her. She look crazy. First of all, we don't wear paisley. So what is that on top of your head? She been passed around too. I know these women, okay? I know them. Okay? And they have to keep a man in their life. They don't care. They don't care. They will do anything. And she's HIV positive. And the reason why I got her on my wall is because she slept with a brother. She was, okay. Look, we lived in the same apartment complex, okay? Me and this sister here. We lived in the same apartment complex. And she used to always have different men coming in and out of her house. So every now and then, I would get a ride to go to Walmart or whatever because I didn't have a car. I didn't want a car. I used to walk wherever I had to go. You live in Decatur, you really don't need a vehicle. You know what I'm saying? And so I didn't want a car. I liked walking, and I didn't need a vehicle because it's just me, you know? And she she got this brother. She was dating this brother. And she was messing around with this man that owned a beef patty shop, who was married and had a beef patty shop named Malcolm. She was sleeping around with him. She's sleeping around with some other dude in Macon, Georgia. She just used to be sleeping around with all these different men. And the brother Jamie Alvarez, he was at her house too. And her own daughter told me that she was messing around with all these men because I didn't think that she was sleeping with these men. In my mind, I'm just thinking, you know, some when you got some women that's just cool with dudes, with brothers, but her daughter, I don't want to tell you which one, told me that she was sleeping with the men. So one day her youngest daughter's father came busting in her bedroom and she told me that the man Malcolm was in there. And I said, "Well, what was he doing coming in your bedroom if he's with the sister Abner?" Because the brother Midian was with the sister Abner. I was like, "What was he doing coming in your bedroom?" She said, "Because sometimes Keturah sleep in there with me." Then one time she was talking to him on the phone. He didn't know I was in a car with her. She put the speakerphone on. They was talking all this nasty sexual acts about what they're gonna do with each other. But I think what they sometimes they think that because they don't see me with a man that I'm pressed for sex. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not. You understand? They don't understand that I'm not from here and that I don't think like that. You know what I mean? Think about it. If I wanted to be with a man, I would have been with a man already. It's been years already. You understand? I'm not interested in that. I'm an extraterrestrial and I want to go home. And these humanoids, look at her. You understand? From sleeping around, messing around. Baba said the monkeypox is the HIV virus. And she got it. And she told somebody that I know that she has it. You understand? So now she got the HIV virus, and the brother Midian was sleeping with her, and the brother Sissy Ray was sleeping with her, and she also slept with Midian, and then she became mates with Duswa. So guess what? He got it, she got it, she got it, and whoever else, Sissy Ray, he got it. His wife got it too. Florice West, you better go get your viral loads checked, okay? So this girl here she go without the makeup, okay? And she shaves the middle of her brow because she has a unibrow. And she shaves it off. And she was in a mental asylum. She had mental issues. And she's driving around the tribe because outside of Nawapo, people in society, and she do the things that she does outside of that, somebody might beat her down, you know. And this sister too, she's been passed around too, you know. So I'm just letting y'all know, they on my wall because they're witches. Okay, she is a witch. This is Mufida. All her name is Tammy. Her real name is Tammy Janelle Houston. She's a witch too. They practice witchcraft, and she tried to take an item that belonged to me one time, and she know I didn't steal it. See, they need something that belong to you because it has your essence. And this is Wea. She's from South Carolina. She's a witch too. I was talking to her on the phone one day. When I got off the phone, she came walking in my room with all white on. I saw, and I tried to move and I couldn't move. I was like, how's this girl get in my house? Because I had windows, but I think sometimes when you talk to them on the phone, you open a vortex. And this stupid girl, this is Varnalise Cameron. She dated Duswa and he raped one of her sons. And he also molested his own daughter that she got a daughter with him. He molested his daughter too. And so they were in Africa and they also caught malaria. And the math teacher tried to tell her to get away from him. And she was trying to make it seem like Baba wanted her to be his mate. You know, she started going around telling everybody, yeah, he wants me, to be his wife. And that's all they ever talk about. It's like y'all don't talk about the doctrine. Y'all don't talk about how we can work together as women to bring him home. All y'all ever talk about is positions, titles, and y'all don't represent us in a good light. What is this that she got on? What is that? Garbage that she got on. And no, that's not me. I know we look alike. That is not me. Okay? What is wrong with her? This is Rempet Shepsis Amunet. She's another one. She's a witch. She is a witch. And the reason why Carfrey is on the wall, I got to tell y'all about her too. Now, she's not a witch, all right? But she wants power in the tribe, and she hangs out with witches, all right? So the reason why she's on my wall is because when I lived in Florida, Orlando, she lived in Orlando, and she left her children with the father to be with this brother who was a married man. She got pregnant from this brother and he made her abort her baby. Okay? So how can you call yourself a clan mother of anything and you aborted freaking babies? And she did too. Raina, she aborted her baby when she got pregnant with Rick. Y'all killing babies? What is wrong with y'all? We do not abort children. You have the child. If you don't want the child, you give the child up for adoption. You don't kill a seed, committing murder. Baba said them babies gonna come back with lasers and shoot them at y'all. So now she left. She broke up with this brother, and I don't know who she with now. And then she turned around and got with him. Told me that they were married, and they got through a notary with a ring or something like that. She crazy. Her passkey seal is twisted all the way to the right. She ain't dealing with a full deck. Okay? And this is Hotep Amunet. And I'm going to emphasize the whole, because every time you turn around, she got a different brother. There's so many pictures of her with different brothers at the ball. There wasn't enough room for me to put them on a freaking wall. And now she's with this brother who calls himself Sobek. Okay? But she's a witch too. Her roots is in New Orleans, and her roots is in New Orleans. All right? They're witches and they're whores. Okay? The math teacher said they're whores. Women that sleep around and they don't take care of their kids. Like all y'all kids are gone, walking around in the world, in the devil's world. Why don't y'all get y'all freaking kids instead of chasing some man? They don't take care of their freaking kids. Listen, one day she took me with her to go meet her son Jalil, and she was pregnant with her 11th child. And her son said these words to her. What is wrong with you? God damn, you don't know what birth control is? He just started going off on his mother because she got so many children. You know what I'm saying? And every time she meets somebody, she go, hey, y'all, I got 12 children. Baba said I was going to have a tribe. They do that to throw you off, but they're witches. And guess what? When they was in a community, a lot of them are responsible for kicking families out in the street and putting people out and mistreating families. So now that's why they going through what they're going through now. And that's why, this brother, before that, it was another brother. And I got the pictures of them. I just want to put them on my wall. And those of you who know her know that she been around. She been around, passed around this tribe. They are not sacred feminine. They are witches. They practice witchcraft. She's a witch. Her roots is in New Orleans. She's a witch. Her roots is in New Orleans. She's a witch. Her roots is in Africa. Her roots is in Trinidad. Her London. They're all witches. Okay? And I know them all. Now, why is a card tat on my wall? I'm going to tell you why a card tat is on my wall. This sister, the reason why she's on my wall is because she was supposed to, hold on, let me go get this thing so I can show y'all something. Hold on. She was supposed to, she made some music, right? And I got her CDs because I listen to all in a while. I got her CDs, Shantat CDs, okay? But I want to show y'all. This is her here. Hold on. I can see I got it's a Shantat CD. I got hers. I got plenty. I got the other one. I don't know where the other one. I got this one. I got all a Nawapian music from years ago. Okay. Okay, so this is a card tag. All right, this is a card tag. Hold on a second, y'all. Get over here. Okay. All right, this is her. When she was making this CD, she was at this brother's house with his wife. He had a daughter with this girl. I forgot her name, but she's an Nawapian sister. She lives in Boston now. Okay. So now she was supposed to be making music, and K-Moore, I think his name is Coffrey now. The brother K-Moore was producing the music for the master teacher, right? So now his wife called me and told me that he said to his wife, he said to his baby, the mother of his child, listen, I want a second mate. First of all, K Moore, you have to be a wealthy man in order to take care of two women. Okay? And you're a barber, you cut hair. So that was wrong. And she said she didn't agree with it. And he moved her in anyway. And she moved in there and was sleeping in a room with him and the mother of his child. I think her daughter was like 8 months, and everybody in the tribe knows about it, a cartag. So sit up here and act like you some freaking saint, and now this is your mate with that wig you got on your head at the ball. Because that's a wig. That's not your hair. This is your hair right here. That's your hair right there. And now you got a wig on. And what happened was the sister said she was basically living in hell with her baby while they were making love and having sex in the next room. Okay? And this is not our way. And if the master teacher was home, y'all both would get kicked out of the tribe for doing that to that young lady. All right? This is not our way. All right? And then the brother Rashad told me that you broke his windows to his car because he said that you had a flat tire and he was helping you with the flat tire and you were staying with the Umi. And Rashad said that he didn't want to, be disrespecting the Umi house by laying up with you. So then he said that you came to the skating ring, and I know your mother too. I know your mother from Detroit. I know your mother. I was in Detroit community with your mom, your mother from Trinidad. So anyway, and she didn't have none of her children with her. I don't know what happened. But anyway, Rashad said that you wanted to be with him, but he didn't think it was be right to be doing that at the Umi house. He helped you with your flat tire. And then you came to skating ring, and I guess to see him or whatever. And because he didn't pursue you, you went and bust his car windows out. All right? You're freaking wicked, man. And guess what? Trust me, you're exposed now because you was at the parade singing and stuff. First of all, you can't sing. Your voice is too high pitched. I just like the music because it's our lahaj. It's our masak with our language, and I like it. But I can't listen to your voice all day, every day. It's too high pitched. You're off key. You don't sing on key. And this is wrong. This relationship that you're in, you did it in a scandalous, evil, witchy, wicked way. And you are being exposed today because when you came to that brother's house and y'all were making music, you should have stuck with the plan. And if tell that brother that if he's not happy with the woman that he's with, to leave her. All right? That's the proper way to do it. You're not going to just be in somebody's house, moving in there, and then guess what? The elders, all of them told me about it. But I said, I'm working on Bob. They wanted me to tell Baba. I said, I'm working on Baba's case. I can't tell him this. And then you see me come to the Parar when we was in Decatur, when I was with Waukee, and you ran up on me real quick. I said, why is this girl running up on me like that? Because you wanted to know if I knew. But I found out that day when I saw you. Okay. And then another time I was with this sister and her children. We was in Brooklyn when I had to go to the United Nations to meet a delegate from Ghana for Baba. He was trying to talk me out of going to Africa. And when I met you, when I saw Kmore, I asked, could we get a ride? I had her children with us. We were going to get some groceries. Could they drop us off? You act like you didn't want me in your freaking raggedy, pissy freaking van. All right? I don't know what your problem is, but I've never done anything to you. But guess what? You on my wall now, and now the whole tribe knows how you got into your relationship because you didn't do it the right way. All right? You disrespected that brother's mate and his daughter, and you moved up, you squirmed your butt on in the apartment and did that to her. And Baba doesn't play them games. You don't believe me? Ask Raina. She'll tell you. Ask Raina what happened to her when she did that to Rashidu. I don't know who y'all sisters think y'all are. You think you're going to be running around this tribe, sleeping around, and you too, Renpet. You knew Coffee was with this brother, then you with him. Knowing that he was still in a relationship with her, and then you in a relationship with this man, knowing that he got a family. Like, what is wrong with y'all? And then you're going to abort a baby and then abandon the two children. You know how I know, Coffee? Because your mate came to my house asking me if I could watch his children. I said, what? I said, watch your children for what? I said, where's Coffee at? She left me. She's in Miami with some brother. I said, well, go take the kids to her. Because I'm not watching nobody's kids. He got mad at me. I said, listen, don't y'all got that African lady, Mother Sakara, at the daycare center? He said, yes. I said, okay, so what's the problem? What do you want? What? Don't come to my crib. Oh, no, I don't. Did he come to my house? Or did I see him? No, I don't remember. I think he came to my house. Yeah, he came to my house, knocked on my door with your two children, with your son and your daughter, asking me if I could watch them. I said, no, I can't. I'm not watching nobody else's freaking kids. Be a mother to your goddamn kids. You want to be some freaking clan mother and declaring over this and that, and you don't even watch your freaking children, and you running around from mate to mate too. Why do you stick with that one brother? He's a good brother. I thought y'all made a good couple. What is going on with y'all, man? Y'all in this tribe practicing witchcraft, doing witchcraft, trying to hurt me, being evil and vindictive and disrespectful like your ancestors, the Pleiadians. This is the brother Henu. Y'all need to know this. All right? Because the HIV virus. Now, this girl name is Gabby. Now, I don't know if she's a witch because I never met her. This is the brother Heno that's over the Arizona store. He doesn't, this is what he did. He doesn't have an apartment. He got the store and he's living in the store. And the sister Yvonne Rich told me. That's how I know. Okay? He's living in the store just to say he got a store. All eyes on Arizona. Well, guess what? All eyes is on Arizona today because now your spot is being blown up. This sister is HIV positive. Her name is Gabby. She's not Nawapian. This is his mate. Okay? And he's sleeping with her. And then when I heard that this girl had the HIV virus, it was Yvonne Rich, who has a daughter named Reality, that told me. I met them through her because she was living in Arizona with the brother Amuna Hanibu. But before that, she was living with another man who wasn't a Nawapian. And then she went to one of our gatherings, got with Amuna Hanibu, and they got an apartment together in Arizona. Then when Baba came out with the books and said that if you with a man and you ain't married, you a kare, a slut, she made Amuna Hanibu marry her. And when she broke up with him, he almost had, he went to the hospital. He was sick. And she almost drove him crazy because she got mental issues. She's crazy. I'm going to get into that about her in a minute too. So this sister, I was told by Yvonne Rich that Heno got into a physical altercation with another brother named Nanetia Ray New from Arizona over this girl, and that the girl is HIV positive. So I called Heno because I thought that this lady was lying, and I didn't. I said that's a bad reputation to have. So I called Heno and I said, listen, I just spoke to Reality's mother, Yvonne Rich, and she said that you've been sleeping with a girl that has the HIV virus. And you said to me, she don't got the kind that you could catch. I said, what are you talking about? He said, I don't got it. I don't got it. She don't got the kind you could catch. That's a lie, bro. When somebody is infected, listen, you could take that freaking medicine, Latruda and Biktarvy and all that. Listen, bro, you got it, all right? You all booed up with this freaking girl. Y'all walking around loaded, you know what I'm saying, sleeping around with members of the tribe, and y'all got the virus. Y'all are HIV positive. You slept with Midian. That was her mate. You slept with Midian, then you slept with him. Then he slept with Diamond. He slept with Diamond. And I don't know who she's sleeping with, but y'all walking around loaded, sleeping around, messing around with each other's mates, being disrespectful to Panabab Yanun, not following our rules and regulations, casting spells, being hating on the sisters that's doing the work. Now, why is the brother Coffrey and his mate on my wall? Because I'm like, what is going on? What are you doing with this girl? I thought she said she was Baba's wife. Then your mother, and then this is her other daughter. Oh, let me read to y'all. I got something I gotta read to y'all. What the daughter called me, reached out to me, and email, and I'm gonna read to you what she said. 1 minute. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, y'all. Let me go get the. What did I do with the email? Did I send it to this phone? I think I forgot. Hold on, y'all. Hold on with me. I'll be right back. 1 minute. Okay, you know what? Hatet, send me that. Okay, you know what? Hatet, send me that email that Amunet Gonzalez sent to me so that I could read to the family about this sister's daughter. All right? You know what? She sent me an email and she was talking about her mother, and she's talking about her brother, and she's talking about how she was treated when she lived in a building with the Babtet and them. And she said that I her text, send me the text to my other phone, the 718 number phone. Send me the text about Amune Gonzalez. Send that to me, please. Raul Beck, what about Harun? He got supreme powers to stop it. The sound is out. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Somebody said they can't hear me. Can't hear you, sister. I wonder why. What happened? You can't hear me? All right, can you hear me now? Okay, good. All right. All right, good. Thank you. All right. So, Hatat, I need you to send me the email that Amunet sent to me about her mother and them and about the brothers in 7-Eleven. Okay, thank you, Lucky Orion. Hatat, send it to my 718 phone number. Not this one, because I'm talking on live on this one. Send it to my 718 phone number. Send me the text message from, thank you. Send me the text message, Hatat, from Amunet Gonzalez. Okay, so now, you know, look, man, I don't know the brother Coffrey. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know his wife. But it was told to me, right? The family from Trinidad was upset because they said that, now look at her dress. See how we got the lace in her arms? And look at her dress, the same lace in her arms. And this picture was taken years ago. So I was like, what is going on? Why is this sister, why is Amunet, Carlito, why is your daughter with this brother? She can't find nobody else to mate with. Why is she with this sister's husband? Ain't that her husband? I took the kids out the picture. They got two beautiful children together. What is your mate, your sister, doing with that sister's husband? Is that sister okay with that? Is she okay for her to be with? What is going on? Hold on a second. I gotta call somebody and tell them to send me. Y'all gotta hear this, okay? This is coming from this. Hold on. Send me the information from Amunet on this phone. Okay. So my thing is, y'all, what is going on, family? This is not the way we live. Y'all can't be, aborting babies, doing witchcraft, being passed around. You understand? Causing confusion in the tribe, telling brothers not to support me, trying to shut me down because things don't go your way. Y'all can't do this and then get mad at me when I put y'all niggas on my freaking wall. All right? Now I got something else that I need to read to y'all. I'm waiting for this information. Hold on a second. I want to say this too. Hold on. This got me pissed off. What is that? What is going on, man? Y'all is just living foul, you know? Let me read this to you all. Because I know some of you are probably wondering, well, dog, why is all of this happening in the tribe? What's going on? I'm about to explain it to you right now. Hold on. Did I read this yet? No, not that. What's the second one? But what? Oh, it must have been this. That's not it. Hold on. Okay, I can't find it. I can't find it, y'all. It must not be meant for me to read it then. But I want to say this, right? I read this book right here. I read this book, The Women Who Changed the Course of History, right? I read this book. And, you know, the master teacher was breaking some things down about, you know, the nature of women and the things that we have to be careful of, you know, the nature of women and the things that we have to be careful of so that we won't become like them. All right. And one of them is um like you got Zuleika. She ripped Joseph's shirt off, right? And she told her husband that he wanted her. Rahul Bat sister, what about the Harun? He wrote the sacred masculine. Who is Harun? Who is Harun, sis? Who is that? I don't know about the sacred masculine, and I don't know anyone named Harun. You know, it's like we have our own books that I don't read their books. I only read from the pen of the master because the master is the one that's going to take us out of here. That's going to take us where we need to go. That's going to take us to the next level. I don't read those books. I don't know who the sacred masculine is. I just read this and told you all what Baba said. Don't follow none of them. If it's not coming from the master's pen, if it's not approved by Baba, don't read it. All right? Because you already know what these people are doing. They're trying to be a master and they can't. You understand? First of all, if you want to be a master, go to prison. Go to jail first. So let me see you do 24 years and still be standing strong, writing and caring and strong voice. And come on now. They're not the master. So now again, Zuleika, she ripped off Joseph's shirt in Genesis chapter 39, 7 through 9. She ripped off his shirt because she wanted this man to sleep with him, with her. And then he got upset and put Joseph in prison. But the math teacher was explaining that it was a blessing in disguise because he started to have dreams. But her plot was to destroy him. So you have women that do this to men, and it's wrong. Then in the book is the book of Judges, chapter 16, verse 15. Delilah, she wanted to find out where Samson's strength was. And she went and finally she kept saying she was sad. She was upset. Oh, I'm mad. She kept on saying, I'm mad at you. I don't want to talk to you today. I'm upset. She conned that man into telling her where his strength was. He told her was his hair. She cut his hair off and betrayed him. Okay. Then you got Jezebel. She was hated for her wickedness, right? And what she did was her plot was to put every prophet to death, to kill every prophet. Anybody that came with righteousness to lead the people in the right way, her job, it was Jezebel and Ahab. Ahab and Jezebel got together. The people thought that nothing but death and corruption and dissension would be the outcome of their union. Jezebel, she ruled her husband. So whenever someone calls someone a Jezebel is a woman that wants to take down a righteous man. That's what Jezebels do. One of her decisions was to make order to kill the prophets of the Most High. That's what Jezebel did. Then you had then you had Lubna and Jalad in Genesis chapter 19, 31 through 38. They got their own father drunk, right? And they used fig wine, got their father drunk, and copulated their father. First one sister did it, then she had her other sister did it, and they committed incest and had sex with their father. That's crazy. And then Jalad, she gave birth to Benjamin and called him son of my own nation of people. And they both humiliated someone they should have loved and cared about. They humiliated their father and he committed suicide. Then you have Rahla. She's the first wife of Ishmael. She had no hospitality. She disrespected his father when he came to his house. Her name was Rahla, the first wife of Ishmael. The father came and the father left a message and said, "Tell my son that there's no mercy in this house," or whatever. And he divorced her and got another woman. And then you have Leah and Raquel. They both hated each other because Leah was favored, Raquel was favored by her husband, and Leah wasn't. And they both hated each other, two women, causing dissension amongst each other. Then you have Tamar, she was a widow of Judah, and she played the role of a harlot and slept with Judah and took his staff and his signet ring. She seduced him. See, these are women that changed the course of history. And these women that's on the wall, these are the women that changed the course of our history. They sleep around with men. They give themselves over to different men. Where's the other where's the other book? Anyway, let me read this. This is in our Sacred Feminine. Hold on. This is what Baba said. He said, if you claim to have actual facts, Wunawap, yet are not in one mind, you lie and do not live the Sawab truth. Yet if you walk in our way of life on the correct path as you claim you are in, Sayin Akal, divine mind, and linked to the Kalei Mukwanet omniverse as a child of natural nature, divine rules. If you claim to be without evils and wickedness and do not have divine love between you all, you only deceive yourselves and those who trust in you. If you confess your wickedness and evils and weaknesses and plan to overpower them, you will be forgiven and purified. It's on you. If you claim you don't sin or commit wickedness, and you know you do, you make all Nawapians liars to the eyes of the world, and your words have no place in our lives. My dear children of Wunawap, I write this Tanjul gospel to you so that you will know to not commit evil and wickedness, to not be of sin. Do not be of those who misuse the gifts given by the overseers. So I wanted to read that. And is there anything else that I'm forgetting? Hatat, can you please text me? I'm gonna try to find it, y'all, cause I just Hatat, can you hear me? Can you text me that stuff about? All right, I'm gonna have to go out and try to find it again. 1 second, family. Hold on a minute. Did I text it to myself? Let me see if I got it. I don't think I have it, y'all. Sorry, I don't have it. Let me make sure that I covered everything with these people. I told you what they did. She started slandering the master teacher. She's a witch. She started, and her name, she's like some type of lizard. Her name is Verna Lees. She started slandering the master teacher, and the thing is, Baba doesn't have anything to do with the life that you chose to live. Okay? He tried to keep you away from this brother, but you didn't listen. And this is what you did. All right? No, we do not run around from brother to brother to brother. And that hairstyle, Baba doesn't like it. He said we don't wear our hair like that either. Take the little knots out, you know. And you went, she was with him, and then when she broke up with him, you got with him. It's like, come on, man. And then you need to teach your children to respect. Teach your daughters, show some freaking respect. Because first you tried to get your daughter to link up with Baba and say, telling everybody that your daughter was Baba's wife, that was a lie. And I told y'all she was lying. And now look, the girl was with another brother that she took from another sister, who was doing the toilet tissue. So how you break up with that brother and get with this sister's husband? She got on a lace dress and now you got on one. Where's the garbs at? And then the thing is, you got your mother and your father in your life. Y'all condoning this behavior from this? Y'all accepting this? Are you okay with this? This is her father. Are you okay with this? I'm just saying, it's wrong. And then her daughter called Baba a demon. She said that the house that they was living in Brooklyn, that it was rat infested, that they used to have to bang on a pot and make all this noise to get in the kitchen and let the rats know they was coming in there. So it's like you put your children. She said that they didn't go to school for a long time. They didn't know how to read and write, and that they learned as they got older. The mother kept them out of school. I was like, what is going on with y'all? But y'all so busy worried about me and Baba and where I'm going to be and if I'm his wife and oh, I'm not his wife and this hasn't been confirmed and all this disrespectful stuff with your freaking Billy goats. All right? It's freaking wrong. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. This girl was on TikTok. This is her friend. She used to live on the land and look at her now. Calling us a cult and look what she got on. What is with the burgundy here? 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. No, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. We got like 40 witches on the wall. We got 40 witches on the wall. Now it's time for me to come down. Now we got 41 witches on the wall. 41 witches on the wall. 41 witches on the wall. If one of them witches should happen to fall. Now we got 42 witches on the wall. 42 witches we got on the wall. 42 witches on the wall. If one of them witches should happen to fall. Now we got 41 witches on the wall. I hate these girls. You know what, y'all? I'm tired. I just wanted to let y'all know about the witches in the tribe, the witchcraft that they do, and I told y'all already about this. I told y'all already about the that satanic ritual that they did. She was working in Baba's case. This is Rochelle. She was close to the master teacher, working on his case. This is his daughter, was working on his case. This is all of them. Claim they was working to get him out, going up to visit him, and everything. They all into witchcraft. All of them is into witchcraft. Ifa, she's gone, but she's a witch too. She's here, but she's a witch too. They used to be together all the time. Witches. All witches, y'all. I'm sick of them all. Yeah. So it's time to go. Thank you for tuning in. And I hope you all are well educated on who they are and all these wicked people that did this to Dr. Malachi York. They need to get smacked. All of them. All of them need to get smacked because they devils. All of them need to be smacked. They devils. You should have never did that to that sister. How you gonna do something like that to somebody and sleep with their freaking man? And take somebody man from them. This is not how we do things. And Bob's gonna hear about this because he's gonna see this video. You too. How you gonna be sleeping with somebody's husband? And you have the audacity to have your daughters talk crap to me? I would say it to my face. Say it to my face, Carlita Gonzalez, because you're a freaking coward. You and your freaking demonic daughter with two horns on the top of her head. Yeah, good night, everybody. I'm going to bed. It's nighttime. And this is for you too. It's trying to set me up. That's what y'all get. Why do? Have a nice shadow. Thank you for tuning in. This is my last update. I will not be doing anymore. I'm done. Why do?